All right.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Deep Threats. It is March 12th, 2023, episode 20. We're closing in on NFL free agency, guys, and it's about to get crazy. But before we get into the free agency moves, let's introduce the cast today. As always, you got me here live. Then let's go to the wonderful guy behind the scenes, Johnny G on the mic.
What's going on, everybody?
You also have my wonderful co-hostess with the mostest, Steve.
Oh, hello. Good morning, guys. Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe. That one. Yes. Yep. Like, subscribe. We love you. We want you to be here. We want you to stay here. Do it.
And as you always know, we do charity here, so we always have the autistic wheels on the crew.
Hey, guys. Thanks for coming.
So he's got a Pens jersey.
And last and least, you have the enthusiastic RC back with the crew.
Woo!
So exciting.
So for all you out there that actually enjoy watching the show when he's on it, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
But
you're so shucks.
To start the day, we also have some devastating news. A wonderful coach / player of all time died yesterday. His name is Bud Grant. He died March 11th. His birthday was actually March 20th. So, like, right before his 96th birthday, he died.
Wow.
I don't know how much you guys know about Bud Grant.
Nope.
But we were talking about this earlier before the show. Bud Grant was actually drafted to the NBA, played 2 seasons, and then got drafted by the Eagles at that same time, and then ended up playing for the Eagles as a defensive end, and then moved positions to a wide receiver. His first year wide receiver had almost 1,000 yards on 60 catches. Bud Grant, do you have the graphic?
I do not.
Literally sent it to you. Check your thing. So Bud Grant he is in the Hall of Fame as a coach, and I think he won the Super Bowl. I'm trying to think what year.
Is it on the graphic?
It is probably on the graphic.
He sent the XTFO, so.
Yeah. I told you that earlier. So he is. Now this shit's in my way.
There it is.
NFL champion 1969, NFL Coach of the Year 1969, Minnesota Vikings Ring of Honor, 50 Greatest Vikings, and he was on their anniversary team in multiple years, 4-time Grey Cup champion. Okay, finally it's up. And he also coached in the CFL. So this dude was, I guess, one of the leaders in the NFL for a long time. Most of us were probably not around when he was a part of the NFL and became a big honor in the NFL at that time.
I think the only person that even watches this show that might.
My dad.
Is your
dad. We're all. Yeah, I think you're the oldest, so.
No. Ryan's the oldest.
Oh.
Don't look this way when you say old.
And he doesn't even sniff that.
Yeah.
Now we're
so we just wanted to put some honor out there for Bud Grant, and we appreciate it. But now that we've done that, let's jump into the news. Johnny, let's get into it.
Audio Jungle.
All right,
right.
Johnny, what do we got?
So Devin McCourty retired after 13 seasons.
Wow, shocker.
3-time Super Bowl champ, 3-time All-Pro, Pro Bowler at 2 different positions, and 907 tackles and 35 interceptions during his distinguished career.
Distinguished.
Now he
Distinguished.
gets to sit on the couch and probably be an announcer in about a year.
It might be a first ballot with Brady in the same year.
I think
That will not happen.
You don't think he's going to be a first?
No.
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 Next up, Brock Purdy had his surgery on Wednesday, so the starting 49ers quarterback can start throwing in three months.
Lecoq Birdie.
No, it took, what,
Did
2
you just say
months?
the starting
Yes,
quarterback
I
can
did.
start throwing in 3 months?
He looked me
All
dead in the
right,
face
so
when he said that.
Trey
too.
Lance will be starting.
That's what I
I
said.
don't think so.
Next up, Browns are targeting Brandon Cooks,
Can you
Elijah
just
Moore.
move on from this because this is false news.
You think so? From
Not
Mary
real.
Kay Cabot?
It's not real. Mary Kay
She's
just
a
does
bitch.
anything to just have people hype her up and talk about her.
Fake news, Ron. All right. Brandon Graham, as we talked about last week or the week before, signed a 1-year contract to stay with Philadelphia.
That's a good signing.
That is a good sign.
Well, considering they lost 90% of their team, it's probably a good sign. Yeah.
Yes.
gotta
Zadarius Smith already said his goodbye to Minnesota and wants out.
He's not going back to Green Bay.
I would love for him to,
He's,
but he's
not going back to Green Bay.
He's going with Aaron Rodgers.
You're going to the
Wherever Aaron Rodgers
JEP.
goes, he's going.
Right.
Well, he won't have a spot on the Jets.
Darius Slay also wants release.
Oh, shit.
Do you think it's because
Why?
Didn't they hire Matt Patricia?
No. No, Denver
No, it
is
was-
looking at trying
No,
to find a way to get
It's
Patricia.
beyond Denver. He's out.
Yeah.
Denver's not going to sign him. It's somebody else that's looking at him now.
Oh, really? I haven't
Didn't
heard
they
anything.
just trade for him 3 years ago?
Yeah,
From
the Giants?
Lions.
Oh, the Lions. Yeah,
31.
no, the Giants.
Yeah.
I bet you they said they're moving on from. He's 31. So like
That's what I said,
32,
and you guys
so-
all called me crazy for drafting a freaking quarter.
Anyways, Robert Woods signed a 2-year contract with the Houston Texans worth $15.25 million,
Who
Well,
gives a
when you got
shit?
money
which is
to burn.
ridiculous.
Who gives
When
a
you have
shit?
money to burn, might as well do it.
Right.
Might as well go overpay a receiver. that's
Tua got his 5th-year option worth $23.2 million.
Yeah, it's a little.
Did he also get a concussion?
Oh.
Jesus.
at signing?
So, notable released players since Wednesday: Adam Thielen, that is a 13.55 dead cap hit. Corner Cameron Dantzler Sr., that's a 2.965 cap hit.
Oh, Braxton Berrios.
Braxton Berrios, that's $15 million that they're saving because he didn't
paying Berrios $15 million
because he didn't want to restructure. And offensive lineman Brett Toth, that saves only $1.04 million for
Toth or Toth?
It's tough.
They were paying a wide receiver for
I think he says, he's like, hey, man, I want to suck
$15
on
million.
some Toth.
Yes.
What?
But I think from the original contract, that's why, because it was all backloaded. He's not worth it, I don't think.
No, Braxton
No.
Berrios is not worth $15 million.
No.
Isn't he the return guy? That's all he really is.
No, he's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean,
Braxton Berrios plays very well when he's on that field. The problem is he just doesn't get to play that much.
So there's a
yeah,
lot of
'cause your receiver room's gross.
Yeah.
It is.
There's a lot of restructured contracts amongst, I think, 8 different teams. The Cardinals saved 5.33 from DJ Humphries. Baltimore saved 2.688 from defensive tackle Michael Pierce.
Look at that restructure for Dallas. Holy cow.
Dallas and the Chargers.
Holy
Dallas
cow,
saved
my
30 just from Dak Prescott and offensive lineman Zach Martin.
Yeah, I believe that.
Green Bay saved 15 from Bakhtiari alone.
So just to
Yeah.
add on to the Michael Pierce thing, that's the first time the Ravens have ever done that.
Restructured?
Done a void years.
Really?
They've never done this to any player in the history. So when you void years on contracts, that alleviates comp picks for the following year if he is signed by anybody, a player. So when you do something like that, you don't get compensated when he becomes a free agent.
Okay.
Interesting.
So-
That's
So
The
you're
Ravens-
kind of screwing
Ravens-
yourself.
Yeah, the Ravens do value.
Comp picks.
They love them.
Right. They love
So-
their depth in the draft.
Yes.
Yes.
So for them to do something like this, they're
It's
trying.
huge.
They're trying to make money,
Oh,
and they're trying to do it by any means necessary.
They
Do you
don't need
think-
to.
Do you think that's for Lamar? They're
Well,
I
trying
really
to.
don't know.
We'll get on to that. We'll
Yeah.
get into that a little later.
All right. My
The
bad.
Chargers saved 40.3675 from Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack's restructured.
Every star on that
Yes.
team restructured. That's ridiculous.
7.5375 from Max Crosby.
We talked about that, remember? We
Yes.
said Max was going to have to restructure. They couldn't afford anything else.
Miami.
Yeah, the Raiders are fun.
Miami saved 44.832 from left tackle Taron Armstead, Bradley Chubb,
That is
and Tyreek Hill.
They just extended Bradley Chubb.
Yes.
So and then they
They gave Hill a
restructured the
contract, too.
extension.
Yes.
Wow.
just for him to play half the year too.
So when do you think when do you think they're gonna make a rule you can't restructure and do a signing,
signing.
in the same year?
Yeah, that'll be
they won't
enough.
touch
They
that.
won't.
They won't touch that.
Like you said on Wednesday, there's loopholes for everything with
Yeah.
contracts.
They
Like
won't
Ryan
touch that.
says, it's all fluid anyway.
Yeah.
That's why it's fluid, because they can restructure everything.
The Jets saved 15.2 from guard Tomlinson, DJ Reed, and Tyler Conklin, which we already talked about.
We
Conklin.
did talk about that a little bit. All right.
And Philly saved 2.492 from
For
their
a
kicker,
kicker.
Jake Elliott alone.
That is funny. I think Buffalo restructured their punter or something like that.
There was a punter that got waived. I think it was New England punter as well.
Yeah,
I can't
no, it was
remember.
New England. You're right.
Yeah.
Did Brett Maher get waived yet?
He
No,
got waived
surprise-
a while back. Remember?
Yeah.
They said they're not.
Yeah, I thought-
he's a
Oh,
UFA.
yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
UFA.
that's
They're
right.
not re-signing him.
The Browns was signing
Houston got
somebody.
fined a 5th-round pick and $175,000 from what the league believes to be a salary cap violation and what Houston believes is an accounting error that dates back to Deshaun Watson's training
Well,
during COVID.
first thing, the I think that's an older tweet. So the actual
This was from Wednesday night.
Well, the NFL put out an announcement that they did fine them, and the money should have been used as cap. So
Gotcha.
they violated the cap by not reporting it correctly.
Right.
So they paid Watson $29,000 or whatever it is for off-site training and facilities.
Yeah.
They
And
paid
that
him.
was
You mean
supposed to-
putting his leg up?
Right, and that was supposed to go towards his cap. Which the irony of this whole thing is, they're still avoiding the fact that the Houston Texans paid for whatever Deshaun Watson did off-site.
And didn't Deshaun get fined $10 million or something
Well,
like that
so
for this too?
Deshaun Watson essentially took a hit on his bonus and his salary for the 2022 season.
Gotcha.
So essentially, he lost $9 million, and the Houston Texans haven't even they lost a draft pick.
Right. But speaking of draft picks,
Wow.
there was
Justice.
36 or 37 total
What is this
compensatory
draft
picks
Oh, this is for every team.
for 16 different teams this year, with San Francisco getting 7.
How do you get 7 additional
So
picks?
this is any sort
no,
of
no.
promotions or minority
That got hired
coaches
by other
that got
teams.
hired by other teams or players.
So the D'Amico Ryans thing.
Yes.
Political. It's all garbage.
So
Browns had one from the Vikings last year.
Yeah.
So going off with what Ryan said about the picks with Pierce's restructure, that
They'll lose one next year.
yes, and they only had
We had none this year because
That's right.
we made that trade for Roquan and
That's right.
you know,
So
certain things
or
like
else they would have gotten 1 or 2 picks. So
Unbelievable.
Cleveland got 1.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it varied anywhere from 7 to 1 picks from the 3rd to the 7th round.
All right.
So,
additional
but also
picks.
with Baltimore, that what's his face, Chuck Clark got traded to the Jets
I
for
forgot about that.
a 7th round pick.
For
So,
a bag of peanuts?
how do you feel about this trade?
I don't really care.
Chuck Clark
He was
wasn't
older.
performing.
He was
like 30?
Chuck Clark's. Yeah, he's a baller. Like he loves the game of football. But
He's just you got to make
It's-
moves.
yeah, I mean, we got a 7th round pick for the guy.
And you freed up cap space. You're now in the positive, I think.
Well, after
Well, actually,
restructuring
no, I
Pierce,
think you're still in the negative a little bit. I think you're like $2 million in the negative still.
I think I have as much money in my bank account right now as the Ravens do in the cap space.
Bless you.
Another trade was DJ Moore going to the Bears.
There you go.
So
I love that. I love that meme. I saw that meme this morning on the right.
yes,
And it says, "Don't be mad at us. Don't come and ride with us if you didn't ride with us and we were 3-14 when we're going to be 6-11.
Yes.
And it's still, like, the Bears just don't know how to win.
So who's the number one now?
Come on, man.
Terrence Marshall.
Quit hating on DJ Moore like this.
No, it's hating on.
That's hating on the Bears in general.
not DJ.
No,
DJ
but
will
the-
still
the-
ball
The
out.
wide receiver room with the clown car. Come on.
That's
Oh.
Panthers.
No, the
Well,
Panthers
Terrence
wide
Marshall
receiver
Yeah.
now.
Junior.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing. Okay.
Yeah, it says after the
A
trade.
little late. It's a little early. It's I'm still waking up a little.
That's
It's all good.
technically just 8 o'clock now.
Yeah. But to go over the picks, the Panthers got the 1-1 for this year's draft. The Bears got the 9th overall, 61st overall, 2024 first, 2025 second, and DJ Moore,
So
which is highway robbery.
Can you do me a favor before you move forward?
Yes.
Can you zoom in on that so people can see the actual picks on the screen? I got a question for you guys, and we'll start with Ryan. We'll go to Wheels. We'll go to Steve, and then who do you think won this trade, Ryan? And I know we don't know the picks yet. We don't know what they selected. But in your world, who do you think wins this trade?
I mean, are we starting with me?
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. So I think the Panthers got a haul,
Yes.
right? I mean, they traded away. Or, I'm sorry. The
I was
Bears,
just gonna
the
say-
Bears, the Bears got a haul because I mean, look at they got a pick next year, which is their ultimate goal, right? So if Justin Fields doesn't progress like they want, now they're developing and getting the ammo they need to move up in next year's draft class with the quarterbacks that are coming out.
I didn't look at it that way. I like that take.
I mean,
That's a good take.
they have the ammo and they got themselves
A stud wide receiver.
a stud wide receiver. I mean, DJ Moore's no slouch.
He
man.
averaged 1,000 yards for the
He was-
last 3
With
seasons.
Baker Mayfield and
Yeah.
Sam Darnold and PJ
it's-
Walker.
He literally should be suing the quarterbacks that he had for time lost.
For lost money on
Yes,
contracts.
I mean,
Trust
that's
me.
funny.
It's been bad. It really has. I mean, DJ Moore's very, very talented.
So
Yes.
you think that in this situation the Bears win this trade?
yes.
Okay. Wheels, you have the same take?
Yep. I think the Bears ran away with this trade. I mean, it's gonna be a crazy take.
What
but
were the Panthers
the
thinking?
Panthers.
I don't
The
know.
Panthers gave up a top 10 pick
So-
next year.
So the
Anthony
Chicago.
Richardson.
So in the 2025 second, they wanted a 2020 to send their 2025 first instead, but the Bears wanted DJ, and I guess they were just kind of like, okay, let's do it.
Well, I don't.
DJ is a first round pick in my mind as a
Yeah.
wide receiver.
So
I'm sorry, we cut you off. Go
You're
ahead.
good. Like I was saying, so they got a top 10 pick from the Panthers because the Panthers are going to be in the top 10 drafting next year, 100%.
Yeah.
I think.
They got
Even
enough-
if they
yeah.
take, but I mean, it depends how you look at it because if you look at it from the aspect of the Panthers, if they get their guy who's they think will be a generational talent, whether it's Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, they may view as they win. But the problem is who are you throwing to? You gave up your best wide receiver. You're going with
Terrace
Terrence
Mitchell,
Marshall,
or Marshall.
Jr.
Marshall's not a slouch, but
And I mean,
Again, their wide receiver room after the trade.
I think Chicago just said, "Well, let's see, what they are willing to part with."
It's
Like,
okay. Chicago can now just
clown
build their
car.
team around DJ.
I mean, they still have pick 4. So
You got well, that wide receiver room in
Carolina.
Chicago is now Chase Claypool, DJ Moore, and Darnell Mooney. Plus, you have Cole Kmet at tight end. So, I mean, you're young at that position for sure now. I mean, you're not going to have to draft a wide receiver probably for the next couple of years. So, this is when you can build up that interior O-line, that defense to protect,
Draft a tackle.
draft to tackle.
All
I mean, this is what they're building for. They did it the perfect way. They
so Steve,
went young.
Steve, how do you feel on this? You feel the same way?
Well, so I look at it like, John, bring that graphic back up, would you? I look at it as if they have their heart set on a quarterback, because that's how you have to view this.
The Carolina Panthers.
You have to look at it like, man,
It's your guy.
this is our guy. We're gonna do it. Cam 2.0, Anthony Richardson, right?
That's who I think they're.
That's who I think.
You know,
but-
and I didn't think of that take until before the show.
Is that
when you brought it
everybody's
up?
consensus?
And I really hope they don't make Anthony Richardson a number 1 overall pick, but
it's not happening.
it can't, right? It's
No.
got to be CJ.
That's what I'm
You don't-
thinking.
you don't
You're gonna
try-
I said
CJ
CJ, but
Stroud's career.
from what
It's-
everybody's saying,
It is Stroud. It has to be Stroud because he's the most pro-ready quarterback.
It's funny that you say that because everybody's saying it's Bryce Young.
Man,
No.
that would be worse than Anthony Richardson.
Analysts across the board are saying Bryce Young's going in 1 overall
That's
now.
crazy.
And it's funny because he didn't even play. He didn't do it with combine, and no one's seen his pro day yet. So I don't know how you can say that
There's
personally.
Worse than Anthony Richardson is Bryce Young.
C.J. Stroud is the most pro-ready quarterback in my eyes.
No,
Out of anybody, yeah.
no, it's on this entire board for us four.
I love-
We all think
I love
C.J.
how-
Stroud's the guy.
I do, yeah.
So let's go off the cuff for a
But the
second.
Bears won that. by
What
far.
happens with Houston if they don't get CJ? Do you think they trade down?
No, they take best defensive player.
Who doesn't
over
get
they-
Okay.
C.J.?
I don't know.
Houston. If
Texans.
Houston doesn't get CJ,
There's a lot of rumor Houston was
No,
Bryce Young too. So like I don't know. I don't know.
I hope.
Please,
I don't like
please,
Bryce Young.
somebody.
I draft Hendon Hook
But
over
hey,
Bryce Young. I'm sorry.
So in my mind,
Facts.
it's funny because I'm gonna take the contrary in this. I think that the Carolina Panthers win in this trade over the Chicago Bears because I feel if Chicago would have traded to somebody else, they could have traded down again and they could have accumulated more. Personally,
I still think that they will do that.
I don't think
Get
they
more.
trade down from 9.
They gave up
9
so
is
much.
so you do not want to. You don't want to come out of the top
I told
10.
the Bears. All right.
You do not want to come out of the top 10 because then you lose your best tackle, you lose your best defensive ends / defensive tackles. You might even there might not even be the best corner at he might get taken in the top 10.
Oscar Gonzalez.
So
that depends.
So I think in this situation I don't.
Depends on your judgment.
Are you? Oh, you might have to go in and re-add them.
But
But that should be updated. 'Cause
wide receiver isn't needed
Yeah.
anymore.
She got to fix it.
unless for some reason it didn't save, which would be piss me off because I did do 32 graphics last night.
If possible.
So to me, I think that Chicago could have hauled in more if they were a little more patient.
So you think they kind of just
But Carolina,
I think they could have got more.
could have gotten more.
Then two
Now,
ones
I will say DJ
and
Moore
DJ
is a
Moore?
huge asset at his age.
with 4
So,
years I think left.
I think that almost becomes 3 1s and 2 2s.
Yeah.
So I think that is a very
You got to look at it this
huge
way.
load. But I
gotta
think you
look at
could
it
have
this
gotten
way.
more
It-
personally.
If you put DJ Moore in this draft class, where do you rank DJ Moore?
Second best wide receiver in the draft class.
No, he's best.
Personally.
He's the best wide
You know what drives
receiver.
me
He's
crazy?
the best wide
I
receiver.
don't.
He's the best.
I don't love DJ Moore. I've never been a big fan. Never been a big fan.
That's because he hasn't had a
He
quarterback to prove
single-handedly
it.
lost them a game last year when he went full retard and took his helmet off in the end zone.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, you can't let your emotions get in charge.
You're
of some games.
you're on a dog
I
shit
get it,
team,
but
all of
and,
these
like, I
guys.
just-
Oh,
have that-
righty then.
all
you
of
want
these guys
that.
have
You want
that
emotion.
ability
I
to
understand
do
it was
that.
a stupid
I don't know.
play.
It was dumb. It was a dumb thing.
And
I just is he a good player? Yes. Is he?
Very good.
He is.
Ryan,
So-
here's
I
where,
just I've never loved him.
Ryan, here's where I'll agree with you is that these guys have to have a chip on their shoulder to play at this level.
He'd probably be
so like
3 for me.
sometimes you take that risk of these guys doing stupid things because they are that good.
You don't
look
think he
at
learned from what he did?
I think he did, but look at Antonio Brown. Like Antonio Brown was very good, and then got to a level to where he got overly good, to where it screwed up every team he was on. So, but he also was a huge asset personally. So, I think DJ Moore is going to be a huge asset in Chicago. I think he's going to be the best wide receiver that Justin Fields will probably ever throw to. So, this to me reminds me of an Eagles situation. Go all in on the wide receiver. Go get an offensive line, and then you have defensive-minded coaches. You can coach up a defense to be good enough to help sustain what the offense's production is.
So since we have a resident Ravens fan, and I wasn't sure if you saw the RG3 tweet, and this is nothing against Lamar, but RG3 said
Oh God,
that
he's doing
the
it.
Panthers gave up more for the first pick than Lamar. How do you feel about that?
Wait.
They said they could have gotten Lamar cheaper.
Yeah, but the problem is the contract.
Right.
And then if you're rebuilding, you're not going to pay a guy what he wants.
I don't care what RG3 says.
Okay. I was just asking just to see what you felt
So,
about it.
RG3 is the kind of guy that just
He likes to say
likes
anything to be
stir the
popular.
pot.
He
Yes,
thrives on clickbait.
that's it.
Makes
I agree.
RG3 knows how the system and the business works.
Oh, yeah.
But he knows that that's not going to put fans in his Twitter page loading up thousands and thousands of comments of people screaming at him. So he's
So you're
racy.
saying you're saying
he
that
does stupid things.
you're saying that this is something you would say, to RG.
He's the stereotypical
All right.
media guy who just likes.
Yeah, he's a race baiting piece of shit.
Like you guys
Yeah.
said, clickbait. He is
100%.
stupid.
He's a faster Stephen A.
Yes.
He's a scumbag.
He knows how that works. He knows the ins and the outs of the business. He's just making lazy takes to create clickbait.
Alright.
And
Perfect. I
don't believe
completely
anything.
agree.
All right.
Anything he says.
So now Johnny, do you have anything else in the news, or was that the final part of your news?
That was the final part.
Oh, good. We hit that
there was
Just
Jamal
as
Williams. The Lions are still interested in signing him, but the Bengals and the Bills are also interested in him.
So he might actually get a
Because
good contract.
He is
Bills
FA.
don't need him.
And then,
Yeah,
and then that
Bills,
was
yeah.
it. That was the only other thing I saw late
I
last
might
night.
go to the Bengals. That would suck.
All right. So let's get into They Mean Well today, since you kind of already did that, right?
It does tie into the past week or so.
All right. Let's get into They Mean Well.
Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah.
Look, this is
All QB needy teams right now. No one cares about Lamar. And
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers, everyone's just buzzing over.
Oh, Jesus.
Not really.
Why you gotta-
But it's pretty much the
Well, we
time.
can
Man.
explain why that is, but
Right. Well, it's
It's because he's white.
Stop it!
no yeah.
go
And
ahead. What's the next one?
And then the other one is Sid from Toy Story as Derek Carr. Derek Carr cost him the Raiders draft picks by declining a trade to the Saints just to sign with them 1 month later.
I love that.
He does look like
Well,
that.
And that's what I told
He
KJ
came
before
out.
the show.
He came out and publicly said that, though.
After he had
Yeah.
a 2 day meeting with the Saints.
Yeah, he's like, why would I take picks away from the team I'm going to go to?
So
Right.
how did he officially sign the contract even though it doesn't open until Wednesday?
Because they cut him on February, so like
Yeah.
he's essentially a free agent
Because-
in general.
Oh, okay.
He could've
Because
went
he was
anywhere.
cut.
Yeah, I
he's
wasn't
already-
sure
And
about that when I
won't
was
take
reading
that,
it.
I won't take that. That Ryan's the one that told me that because I asked the
Okay.
same question.
I was just a little confused on how it was officially official by Ian
All you need is a
Rappaport
whistle.
or Adam Scheffner. One
how
of
is
the
that
two.
officially official?
We've been doing
That's what
this.
they say. Officially
We've been doing this
official.
officially official thing consistently.
That's how they
now.
tweet. Hey, they do
that's
like
how
6
they tweet.
things. Hey, he might get cut. Hey, he's cut. Hey, he might sign with this team. Hey, he signed with them. Hey, he's officially signed with
See,
them.
look, there's the
You're right.
the
You're
autist.
right.
There he is.
In the
The
flesh.
There he is.
Yeah, you instead of Ryan in chat.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to do today, we're going to move on to the rookies in this upcoming draft at wide receiver, and we're going to go over each of these guys that we think are probably going to make somewhat of an impact on the 2023 season in the NFL, whether it be later in the season or whether they have some type of impact in the preseason and they make a starting roster spot, or I don't know. We'll go from there though. But for us, we got tier 1 guys, and we're going to jump right into our tier 1. I think a lot of these guys have, and I don't know if this is biased, but I think a lot of these guys do have Jackson Smith and Jigba as our top wide receiver in this draft. So, Steve,
Yeah.
give me your take on Njigba and why you've got him ranked where you have him ranked.
Who's wearing Bumper's volleyball T-shirt?
Probably KJ.
He says it's a big flex.
What is-
I don't even think I won
what
that
is
year.
going on
I don't even think I
here?
won that year.
Jesus. JSN, aka Jackson Smith. I can't. You guys are killing me here. I like him overall. If you go back to the 2021 season, right, he just was dominant. He outplayed Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, who both were top 10 picks. I mean, and who both shined this year in the NFL.
And Marvin Harrison Jr.
And Marvin Harrison Jr., who, I mean, it just, his play when he's on the field is crazy. Now, the hammy injury in 2022,
That's what scares me.
And,
that's what scares me, right?
and Garrett Wilson even said in an interview that JSN is better than
All three of them did.
Yeah.
Because Olave was there too. There was
Yeah.
3 of them. They both looked at him like, yeah, no, he's way better.
right.
And he is, because I think he's a really good mix of both of those players, personally. He doesn't have the speed of Olave. Not many people on earth do. But I really, really like him overall as a player. The only negative I had was the hammy injury, which I think a lot of that was like a business decision,
I agree.
personally.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not looking too much into it, but he just is the guy. I think he's gonna be. He should be a top 10 pick, and I think that he's gonna be. Maybe he may not be receiver 1 this year for a team, but he's definitely gonna be a starter wherever he goes.
All right, how about you, Wheels? How you feeling about Njigba?
I
know
he's
you don't
not
have him ranked as your one
he's
overall.
not my number 1 overall, and that's the injury alone. He wasn't there for the team, and it might have been a business decision at the end of the day, which I understand. Coming out of college, you want to save yourself for the pros, or maybe it was a coaching decision. So I tried not to look into it hard, but it still affected my ranking. I think he is one of the best wide receivers coming out, but at the same aspect is he didn't do anything to wow me this year because he was injured.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
mean-
going off
I
of
mean-
last year's tape, which he looked really good last year.
God, he was so good.
100%.
Was he the leading receiver last year in college football?
Yes.
I know he had over 1,600 yards. So
He didn't lead last year. I think it was Jordan Addison, actually, I think.
I don't know. I thought because it was 1,600 yards. It was huge. But there were a lot of receivers that are coming into the draft this year that had better 2021 seasons when I was looking at all the stats. Ryan, how you feeling on Njigba?
Same with all these guys. I mean, they're.
I mean, what
Are we doing player comps?
you can do a player comp. Like,
Okay.
yeah, for 100%. If you can do a player comp, please comp it.
This guy has, in my opinion, when I say comps, I'm not saying that
His
this
upside.
guy. It's the upside that I see in this guy's receiving ability. I think he can be like a Keenan Allen.
Ooh.
He's not going to blow the roof off the place with the vertical, deep threat guy, but he has the ability to make you miss. His elite route running creates a lot of separation. I think it did it at the college level by like a ton. If you go watch his film, he
gross.
creates like 10 yards of separation.
Yeah.
So if you want to even say like, all right, well, he might lose 5 yards, it's still 5 yards of separation at the next level. I mean, Keenan Allen does the same thing. He gets off the line well. It's hard to press. You try to jab him off the line as a corner and you miss, you're screwed. You're screwed because you're immediately backpedaling. You have to flip your hips or turn around, and you're going to lose. This guy is an elite route runner, and he's a day one starter immediately in the NFL.
Oh.
So, and I'm on par with all you guys with Njigba just because I watched enough of him in college. I have a question for you guys, and this has nothing to do with receivers.
I agree with Jimmy's take, too.
This has nothing to do with receivers, though. So Jimmy and everybody here, I had this conversation with you guys the other day when we talked about the combine with C.J. Stroud. We all say that C.J. Stroud's the best quarterback in the draft. All of us here.
Yeah,
hands down.
Do we think that him having the best wide receivers in the last 3 years has any impact on his ability, or do you think he's going to take a step back in the NFL because he's had
All right, hold on.
10
You talking
talent?
about Stroud?
Yeah.
yeah.
When having the best receiver. So, let me ask you a question.
Look what he did this year.
Just hold on. Just let me ask you a question. Do you think that Josh Allen having Stephon Diggs and his ability helps?
Yes.
I mean,
Or
just
hold on.
talent's going to help you.
I agree.
I mean-
I agree. I think that's a big reason why, like, Justin Fields struggled. I think that's a big reason why.
Right. So, like, but
I mean, yes. Does it help? Yes. Can Stroud make those throws, though? Yes.
okay, so, but like what we just said, right? Like you all just said 2 seconds ago that Carolina should go after C.J. Stroud. This should be the guy. He's the NFL-ready guy. We also just said
They have no wide
that
receivers.
their wide receiver is a clown car.
Yeah, I actually, if
But that
honestly,
doesn't mean they can't make. I mean,
I don't know.
let's just throw it out there. Let's just say, the Carolina Panthers want to get a little crazy, and they want to offer Arizona a third or a fourth round pick, whatever they got left, for DeAndre Hopkins. Now all of a sudden you got DeAndre Hopkins, Terrace Marshall, who's a field stretcher. DeAndre Hopkins is your chain mover, right? That's what he is.
That's
all DeAndre Hopkins has ever been.
Possession receiver.
Yes. He's your kind of guy that is a big body, knows how to use his body, knows how to his catch radius is insane. His hands are strong as hell. Now you got those two guys. Say with pick 40, they get themselves a tight end. Next thing you know, you got some weapons for CJ
Well,
Stroud.
I think with
Not a
pick,
Purdue
there is no pick.
or Iowa.
Do they have a pick 40?
They have a pick 40.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They had 2 in the second round. Okay. Okay.
I don't like that because you'll get a good receiver at 40, or you're like you said, or a tight end. You'll find
You're
a good.
absolutely right. You could.
But is that really?
But are you going to get a receiver like
Are you
DeAndre
gonna
Hopkins?
are you gonna compete
No.
this year?
But you're gonna get
are
more
you gonna
years.
compete?
But
I don't think so.
They have a good defense. I mean, they almost made it to the playoffs last year.
So what?
Now,
Ryan,
granted, that division's
in
not
that
that
division,
good,
I was
and
gonna
now you have Derek Carr in that division, which might change things because now he's got wide receivers. He still has a defense. I will say that the Saints are over cap space by $25 million, and they have to figure out what the hell's going on there in like 3 days.
That's
Saints?
it. They'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I heard the last thing I heard was the Saints were trying to work a deal out with Michael Thomas.
like a
Probably
restructure.
Yeah,
They already
probably to open up-
restructured him
Yeah,
once.
if you look at them, they're in the bottom of the
last year.
NFC
Gonna
for
look
cap
that up.
space.
Yeah. Oh my.
You know why that is? It's because all the money they were paying Drew Brees is due now.
No,
they
look at their
backloaded
defense.
it so much
No,
too.
look at their defense. What was the corner I was talking to you about that didn't play at all last year?
That wasn't Lattimore.
Ryan
Lattimore.
Lattimore.
He didn't play a snap last year?
Well, he got injured like the third game in. He didn't play almost the whole season, and they're paying him like $25 million right there.
Oh, it's almost like corners aren't worth the money.
And all these numbers and all these numbers are from
man.
what? Spotrac? All these numbers are Spotrac?
Yeah, all of those are from Spotrac. And those did
Just so
get
everyone knows.
updated yesterday, so they should be good. So that's all I wanted to ask. We can move forward from here. What did Jimmy say in the chat, Johnny?
That's a good point. I like that point.
If Stroud didn't play the way he did against Georgia, I would be a bit tentative. However, he showed up and hung 40-plus points. I think he will struggle a bit like every rookie quarterback does at some point.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
and we all said that. I think that cemented
curve.
Stroud for us as the top
yeah.
quarterback was
There's always
what
a
he did
learning
in that
curve.
game.
yeah,
Yeah, there's always
you're not going to come into the NFL and be Patrick Mahomes day one. It's just not going to happen. There
Patrick Mahomes
hasn't.
wasn't Patrick Mahomes day one.
No, there hasn't been a guy who's stepped in.
Frank Wright's a good coach to come in. If I was a rookie and I was coming in to Frank Reich, I'd be okay with that.
I mean, Carson Wentz came in great with Frank Reich, but then he went back with him, and it didn't look as good. And
Well, that's because Big Dick Foles came in and won a Super Bowl for him.
And Carson Wentz is injury prone and makes really bad decisions.
all
in the
right.
red zone.
So let's go to our number two. Well, not number two overall, but another guy in our tier one, which would be Hutchinson. And I know one person doesn't like this guy, but the other two do. So
Let's go.
Wheels, tell me why Hutchinson.
I don't know why this guy is being touted so low. If you watch his film, he has all the measurables. He has all the talent on the field. He can run a route he runs a fluid route and knows where the ball is going to be. Doesn't have to slow down to track the ball. Doesn't have to stop in his route. And he goes up after the ball. He's a very physical wide receiver. He can go in the outside the hash marks. He can play in the slot. He is not a super speedy guy consistently, but he's going to create separation enough where he can get yak yards consistently. I've liked this kid for the last month and a half or so. I've been touting him up.
You have?
And I don't know. Maybe it's because I like him so much I have him rated high, but if you watch his film, it's there. The talent's there. I think he's a day one wide receiver. I think he should be drafted in the first round. That's just how I feel. There's not really anything that I don't like besides his blocking, but you can do blocking. You can teach that. And you're not going to use him as a blocker 90%
Well, he's a
of
physical
the time.
receiver,
Yeah.
so he's capable of blocking.
Yeah,
So
that was his
probably
lowest. That's my
9
lowest
times out of the
thing.
10, all you want is your receiver to just get in the way.
Yeah.
Exactly. You just want him
right.
to nudge him a little.
Did you see what NFL Draft Buzz comped him to? Did you see who he was?
I did not.
Mike Evans?
Michael Thomas.
I was saying Mike Evans in my head.
Is that a? I take that as a slight, to be honest.
Well, Michael Thomas, his first 5 years in the NFL is not a slight.
Mr. Slant. That's
I
all he
mean,
does.
He's a possession receiver.
Yeah,
That's what you.
I
want a guy
understand
that's a
that, but
go-to at any point in time. But Steve, go
that's
ahead.
the
Give me
big
your.
shoes to fill at the end of the day. That's
me
what
your-
I'm saying with a slate. That's what I hate about some of these comps is you're giving these guys these huge shoes to fill.
Okay, so like Ryan said, starting the show, a comp is their ceiling. This is what a guy's potential is.
We're not saying he is
It's
that.
not. Yeah, he's
Okay.
not that guy.
Okay.
Steve,
You're not that guy, pal.
Steve, give me yours on Hutchinson.
My apologies.
What did he say?
Now I like Hutchinson. I watched a couple games. I'm like, man, he just looks good. He looks
so deceiving,
fluid.
isn't it?
It's deceiving. I know
Hold
you
on,
don't,
Ryan.
I know you don't
Hold
like
on,
him.
Ryan.
I know you don't like him, and I'm curious to see.
I didn't say I didn't like him.
Well, you don't.
What game did you watch of him? I watched the Iowa State.
I watched
Texas
Baylor
game.
and Texas.
Texas, he looked really good in.
Texas, he looked.
And
really
he's
good.
only had, not to talk over you, I'm sorry, he's only had one game where he didn't have 8 or more receptions, and that was the playoff game. He had 2.
Oh, that I
Can you
didn't.
bring
know.
that
This year.
graphic up real quick?
So there was only one game that he did not have at least 8 receptions.
He is
in.
averaging 8.9 yards receptions per game.
8.9
Yeah.
yard.
Eight-
Okay.
8.9 receptions per
yeah.
game. I don't know why I said
There you
yards.
go.
So
I-
he
I
is
I mean,
averaging almost 9
he gets
receptions
his he gets his catches 100%.
Now,
He is a
maybe I missed
possession
something.
receiver.
Yes, maybe I missed something, right? But my cons for him was it was an awful offense and abhorrent QB play.
Yeah.
So I think that he actually ended up bailing his quarterback out a bunch, in my opinion.
He doesn't have the best quarterback, and he averaged almost 3,000 yards his entire career there.
And
Not
I-
average. He totaled almost 3,000
No, he's
yards.
a senior.
And I
He's gonna be
think-
23 at the season start. I mean, that's not old.
I think
It
that-
is old for a wide receiver coming in the draft.
so. I think quarterback play is part of the reason why he's kind of low.
I think so too.
I think NFL Draft Buzz has him 11 or 12. I have him 2.
All right, Ryan.
Yeah.
Let's hear the negatives because we know you aren't this high on him, but you do like him, just not this high.
Look at that face.
He's mad.
I'm
Alright.
not like I said. I'm not. I don't not like the kid. He is a baller. He's like you said. He's a possession receiver, right?
You hate him.
What he lacks is the ability to create separation in the route running. There was multiple times where I would see him run into the defender, right? He doesn't make the defender think he's going one way to go another way, right? He doesn't lead the defender.
He
thinking
tries to
he's
run
going
through
in.
him.
He doesn't
tries to
outsmart him.
Right. He's not.
Shifty.
It's so early. My lingo is just not there.
He
But
doesn't have a good second step essentially coming
So-
out of his route.
It's not just that. It's the deceptiveness. Like he doesn't have that deceptive trait in his route running. It's very mediocre in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's what I said. He's not going to create that separation
So-
vertically, but across the middle, like
he has
said, he can-
that ability to
Yeah.
get open on slants and whatnot. A lot of his film, I didn't see a lot of press coverage. I saw a lot of off coverage,
Yeah.
which in college football you're going to have that. But
Pros, not
I
so
did
much.
comp him to Devonta Parker.
That's another possession guy. though.
Yeah.
I got some feels of Devonta Parker from him. Devonta,
I don't hate that either.
I
Parker-
think that's a better comp than Michael Thomas personally. I'll be
do- I
honest.
do too.
I
I do
think that's.
too.
I like your
I mean,
comp way more.
when he does go vertical, he has the body size and the ability to go up and get the ball.
That's
Right?
it, yeah.
Devonta Parker
Yeah.
does the same damn thing.
And
So
He's
I-
physical.
for me, that plays into why I rank guys in certain places.
So, Ryan-
size does matter.
I have a question for you then.
It does.
So
We've been told that
you're
all
not
along.
high. You're not high on this guy.
I'm not like in this draft class, considering it's kind of weaker. It's not the sexiest one of all, but yeah, I mean he's in the middle of my pack.
So I have a question for you. Since where do you consider Devontae Parker when he was a top 10 wide receiver for 5-6 years when he came in with Tannehill and
I don't think he was ever a top 10 wide receiver.
dude, he was
Hold on.
averaging. Yeah, he was averaging 1,000 yards every year. He was. I think he had.
Wasn't he hurt a lot?
Before or after Landry.
I don't know.
I thought during Landry they both split a lot of.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Devonta Parker,
He's a solid receiver,
solid,
so
yeah.
you don't like him as a tier 1 guy for that. Do you not think Devontae Parker's a tier 1 guy? I guess that's my question. You don't see Devontae Parker as that good of an
I
asset?
guess Devontae Parker.
I think Devonta Parker is a good.
Devontae's only had a 1,000 yard season,
Yeah.
and that was
Devonta, I'm
2019.
telling you, this kid has potential. But
That was after
from
they
what
traded
I've
Landry, I
watched,
think too.
I think he looks like what could be the next Devonta Parker.
Okay, all right. I got nothing on this. This is like I said, this was between you three on this one because I don't know where to
Thanks for
look
looking
at
that up.
Hutchinson. But I did have some some statements that he was good against press coverage. So from what I hear, his hand fighting was better than most.
Yes.
So we'll move on from him. We'll go to our next guy. We're gonna go Addison. Let's get into Addison and talk about Jordan Addison. And I'll give this one to Ryan. See what you got here, Ryan.
About Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison.
Where do you have Addison in your?
This is one of my. He's 2.
Okay.
This is one of those stereotypical, shifty, nasty wide receivers. Good elite route runner, creates a lot of space, knows how to, lead defenders one way to go another way. He's nasty. He's got that fight in him. Because he is smaller. He's got to play scrappy.
He's not that small though. 5'11" is
5'11",
a good height for a wide
173.
receiver.
That's small.
He's skinny, but
he's a little thin.
He reminds me of a running back turned wide receiver. The
but-
way he shifts.
He's got that nasty side to him. He's a baller. I like this guy a lot. I mean, I did comp him to Deontay Johnson. You know, we all know Deontay Johnson has
That's dropping issues.
right, but I'm not saying dropping. You know, Deontay's got some work
He's
to do
good.
with the hands.
Deontay Johnson's good.
So
Deontay Johnson is a good route runner.
Yes, he is. He's
Creates
very good.
separation, gets open, makes tough contested catches when he doesn't drop the ball. The problem with Deontay Johnson is if you watch Deontay, is he takes his eyes off the ball too much.
He looks upfield.
He tries to get upfield fast.
And that's his issue with drops.
Exactly.
So, Johnny, read the bottom of that graphic for me. I don't know if you know the teams. It's USC and Pitt, but
Transferred to USC after an exceptional season in Pitt, putting up 100 receptions for 1,593 yards.
He won the
7
Biletnikoff that year,
touchdowns.
yeah.
Great at finding holes and zones on the defense. Excellent stop and start speeds.
I think that was the year that Kenny was there too.
Yes.
yeah, this is another one of those guys that well, actually, he had 2 good seasons in Pitt, and then he transferred to USC.
Yeah.
So I feel like I think he's one of the better wide receivers in the draft. Like as one overall, I think he's going to be overlooked by some just because. And Jigba did nothing last year. So
That's why I have him ranked where he is. But where do you rank him? Is he a day one starter? Like he can be a number one? Do you think he can be a number one on the team?
He's a day one starter. I don't know if he's a number one.
Okay.
It's hard to say what an X receiver is and a Y receiver is coming out of this draft.
I get it.
Because like Devontae Smith, what would you consider him? You know what I mean?
I don't think Jordan Addison's going to be like a number one.
Yeah.
I would be. Let's put it this way: does he have the potential to be a number one? Yes. I think all
That's
these
my
receivers
point.
have potential.
What's
It
your
just
comp
depends on
for
how
him?
hard they're willing to work. But
So,
I just think
Deontay Johnson was his name.
all right, Steve, how do you
That's
feel
early
about
boys.
Addison on this?
He has really good tape, and I liked he's effective within his catch radius. So when the ball is somewhere where he can catch it, he's probably going to catch it. He is fast. I do like the shiftiness. He's got good hands. I mean, he is smart enough to come back and help his quarterback when they're troubled too. He came back countless times. He's like, "Hey man, I'm open. I'm right here," and he would get open, and that helped drive the offense. He's smart. He's got a developed route tree. I think he's going to transfer well to the NFL. His contested catch rate it's not great. It's 22.2%. I did not like that. I was like, it's not great.
But he catches more in the open field because of his route running ability.
I agree. I
Creates
agree.
that separation.
All right.
The smaller size sucks. Is it small? No. Is it
Not
big?
the smallest in his draft.
This whole draft
agree,
class is small.
It really is. And what I noticed from when I was watching, his straight line speed isn't great. If he doesn't put on a double move, he struggles. So that's what I saw.
That was one of my highs on him, was that second effort coming out of the route or coming off the line. That's where he creates that separation.
When he has that step, he's open.
For a smaller guy, I guess not smaller, for under 6 foot, he's not super fast, but he's very shifty, and that's why I made that.
Yes.
He looks like a running back turned wide receiver to me.
Yes.
He has that shiftiness where he's going to make a guy miss, whereas he may not create the
Almost like
separation vertically, but he'll
that
create
one-
it because of his
Like
shiftiness.
that one cut you see in running backs.
Yes,
I agree.
exactly.
He's that quick.
That's
He
yes.
can
why-
put the
that's
foot
why I
in the
like it.
ground and move.
Yes.
That can make a defender miss, and that
that-
may be the difference between a first and 10 or a 4th and 3. So that's where you want one of your wide receivers to be. He's not going to be that possession physical receiver like you see with some of these guys coming out, like Quentin Johnson and stuff like that. But he's definitely a guy who's going to help you get those yak yards,
So
in my
a
opinion.
guy like this, would you rather have him go to a weaker quarterback or a stronger quarterback? Like,
They'll define weaker and stronger.
Yeah, who would you?
If you
who's like-
give me a second.
yeah.
Sorry.
Define them.
Wow.
Sorry.
Define them.
I'm trying to define them so you guys understand what I'm saying. When I say a weaker quarterback, a quarterback that struggles fitting a ball through the seam. Okay. So like Justin Herbert is a good quarterback, right? But he doesn't really throw the ball through the seam much. He hits guys on the sidelines. He hits guys that in the open field more often.
In stride.
Right. Whereas a guy like Patrick Mahomes hits a guy through the seams a lot. So like he can throw balls in coverage and hit his wide receiver where it needs to be. So that's why I'm asking, like,
Every wide receiver would like to go to
Addison.
Patrick Mahomes.
Well, but what you guys are saying is Addison's a better catcher in the open field. So
I agree.
Can
I
he
think so.
catch behind D-backs? Is he going to be able to see the ball through the seams well? And that's my question. Can he go to a team should he go to a team with an okay quarterback and he's going to make that quarterback go to the next level? Or is he going to go to a team with a great quarterback? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ryan,
I
can you
get
help
it.
clarify what I'm saying
get
a little
that.
bit?
I mean, he's going to go later in the first round, so
Yeah, I
that
think
usually
so.
means that you have,
Maybe Green Bay.
he's going to have a better.
So you think that he
Better
could,
quarterback
so a
is-
better quarterback. But my question is, can he catch the ball through the seams with a better quarterback? I guess
Yeah.
my question. Oh, you think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was asking.
I-
Because we just sat here and said that he's better in the open field.
He is. That's because he creates a lot of separation.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He doesn't. I mean, he's not afraid to go across the middle if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm talking about. Like, can he take a hit and catch
Yes.
a ball?
Yes.
I guess.
In college, yes.
Yeah.
In the pros, coming across the middle might be different.
Yeah, we're gonna
Linebackers are
find out.
scary.
I mean,
okay,
I'm worried about safeties.
Let's
too.
let's move
it.
on to our last guy in our tier 1, and that would be Zay Flowers. I'm gonna go right back to Ryan on this one. Ryan's high again on Zay Flowers. So let's see what we got on Zay Flowers, Ryan.
I mean, I got him at 3. I like this is a Baltimore guy. You better not frig this up
They will.
because I got them DJ Moore feels from Zay Flowers.
Stop.
Scrappy,
I did not expect that.
scrappy young player.
Oh, man.
Short area quickness. Is elite with the ball in his hands. Can do it all. Can play outside. Can play inside. Can take end arounds. Can play. He's like
I think he played majority outside.
he's like
at
the
his
low.
size.
He's not afraid. I mean, I you watch some of his tape. He makes catches at some of the most ridiculous catch points for his height.
Yes, he does.
5'9", goes up, gets it. I mean, 35.5 foot vertical for a guy that's 5'9". I mean, that's pretty damn good. I mean, I just like this kid. I mean, he's quick.
Do you think Lamar is
I
that
see a lot
good,
of
though?
DJ Moore, a little bit of Steve Young in him Steve
Smith.
Steve
Yeah, I
Smith
could see that too.
with the scrappiness. You know, he's a baller,
I think
man.
he's
He wants to
comped to
play.
Steve
Did you
Smith,
just watch
wasn't he?
Scooby Doo or something? You're talking
Why?
a lot about Scrappy.
Scrappiness.
No, you got it.
That was
you
a
know,
dad
well,
joke if I ever heard one.
Scrappy was, he was who he was because they nicknamed him Scrappy because he's nasty. You know.
Oh, I didn't know that was his nickname, so okay.
Oh,
Ryan,
is it really? I didn't know that either.
Yeah, his
Ryan-
real name is
go
Dog.
ahead. You're good. So I have a question. Since you said that you would like him going to the Ravens, like,
Yes.
do you think Lamar has the ability to pinpoint the ball for a guy like this accurately? Because
Yes.
okay, that's just a simple question. I'm just asking, like downfield on the outside.
That's a
like,
fight. You're picking a fight.
Yeah, he
no,
is.
I'm asking a simple question. Like
the hook.
one of
Eat
his
the
knocks.
hook.
One of his knocks is accuracy.
It has gone down since his MVP season.
Well, I mean that.
But that's also this year he had no wide receivers.
All right.
That's true.
So, Wheels, how do you feel about
I got
it?
dragged for this on Wednesday.
What'd you do?
I compared Zay Flowers to Marquise Brown. I said I think he's better than Marquise Brown. But the way he plays, he reminds me of
Forgot
Marquise Brown.
We did rip him apart.
So,
Did I? I don't know.
yes, you did. You said it was a slight. You said it.
Well,
You're
did I?
dissing him.
Yes, you
You're
did.
dissing him.
I'm just
So,
what Marquise.
I-
Oh yeah, that's right. I think Zay's way better.
That's why I said I like Zay Flowers is going to be better than Marquise Brown. And funny enough, Ryan wants him on the Ravens. That I think emphasizes my comp.
The Marquise Brown feel.
Yes, I think the Ravens are more comfortable with the guy who may be undersized, but like Ryan said, he's scrappy. He can go up and get the ball. That's what you need with the Ravens. That's what you need in the NFC North, going against some of the corners you have to.
And
Mika Fitzpatrick, Denzel
he's-
Ward.
he's loyal. He's
You
stayed
loyal.
with Boston College, even though he had the
You smart.
poopiest of
You
quarterbacks.
loyal.
Oh,
but
man,
that's
I
the
even
thing.
have
He
that.
was good with bad
Yeah.
quarterback play. And that's not anything against Lamar. I think he'll be much better.
I
mean,
will
Lamar-
literally throttle you.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying.
My wife's
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
Eat
yeah.
the hook, Ryan.
You know what's
it's
funny?
time.
It's funny that you said loyal.
John, we need a graphic. that
It's
says
just
eat the
funny
hook.
that
Here
you
we
said
go.
loyal
Oh,
because
buddy. I'm going to move out the
Lamar
way.
Jackson posted that tweet that said he's loyal no matter what, essentially. So I just think that's funny that you said loyal was the word you used for the Ravens.
We had enough Lamar slander on Wednesday. Let's move on.
Steve, how do you feel about Flowers?
I like Zay Flowers a lot. He's actually my 3. I like him a lot. His size takes away a bunch.
Yeah, but if he's 2 inches taller, he's Antonio Brown.
I gotta be
he's
honest.
Antonio Brown.
If he's 10 pounds heavier and 2
Funny
inches
that you say
taller,
that, 'cause
he's Antonio Brown.
I think his comp can be Antonio Brown. I don't think the 2 inches makes a difference.
I do.
You ask some women, it does.
Oh.
That's Tom Brady's wife.
Bing, pow, pow.
Anyway, Draft Network comped him to Tyler Lockett, and I don't like that because I think that he's
Tyler Lockett's a downfield guy, stretch the field
and
guy.
that's Zay Flowers.
No.
He can be, but he isn't.
You know why they're saying that? Because of his size and his speed.
Well,
That's all.
yeah.
They're just
Tyler
going
Lockett's
off of that.
not 5'9".
No,
No, Tyler Lockett's
I'm
fine.
saying they're making that comp
They're
because of
making-
his
exactly.
size
They make
and
it
his
off of
speed.
the
I'm
measurables.
saying
Yes,
I disagree with that.
exactly.
He's shiftier than Lockett, in my opinion.
100%.
They don't look at his game and try to think of what kind of game.
They're
is the
bullet
model
point
from.
guys.
They go, oh, this guy's 5'9", 182. Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're bullet
How
point
lazy can
guys.
you be?
Do you think they do it like that too?
Yeah, they probably do. 100%.
They sit
Yeah.
around with their stogies and their
Bourbon.
little tiny bourbon
vape
shot
pens.
in their little
stogies.
rice glass, and they're like,
Rice glass.
This player is Tyler.
Jimmy,
Oh my
I didn't see Jimmy put that in the chat. He
didn't
goes
see
for
what
the
he
amount of
said.
money Lamar wants.
Yeah.
He better be able to pinpoint
I
the
saw
ball. All right. So let me just go over this really quick. So our tier 1 guys, we have as I think number 1 overall, we could probably say Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think all of us probably right around there. I think number 2, we'll probably go with Jordan Addison as our second guy in this tier 1. And,
I agree with that.
And then number 3, I think we'll have to say Zay Flowers will be our 3.
No, it's Xavier Hutchinson 3. I'm
I
sorry.
think we're gonna have to say. Well, you know what? I like
was that?
Hutchinson,
I'm
but I
Oh,
think
buddy.
I
first
think
day on the job.
I think the comp for you guys, you all like Zay Flowers if he's 2 inches taller. Let's take height out of it and say Zay Flowers' tenacity and his drive to play the game. Maybe, and you all said this earlier, that he put so much energy into gaining weight before the combine and gaining muscle that it shows his drive to play the game. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put Zay Flowers as our 3 overall, and then Xavier Hutchinson we're going to put as our 4 overall. Now, what we mean by tier 1 guys, we mean guys that more than likely are going to go in the NFL and make a day 1 impact on their team, and that's what we mean by tier 1. So let's move on to the tier 2 guys, and you know what? I'm gonna switch this up just a little bit. We're gonna go Johnston as our tier 2 first talk about.
Johnson?
So let's talk about
No, it's Johnston.
Johnston. There's a T there, bro.
Dude, I don't even want to talk about this.
Let's
shit.
talk
My
about
bad.
Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, I don't
and,
like this guy either.
And you guys, well then, let's go to Wheels.
No,
Wheels.
yeah.
I don't
Wheels
like
loves
him. I do not like him.
It's Will's favorite player.
No. You think
So,
Jalen Hyatt I
Hold
like.
on, let me introduce this then. Let me
I'll do some
introduce this.
slander on
Hold on, let me
Johnston.
introduce this then. So our tier 2 guys are guys that we feel might be a little overrated and are going to struggle being a day 1 impact. Will be our tier 2 qualifier. Okay, so there's a little bit of overrating there with they're going to get on the field just because of their rating and probably where they're drafted, but we think they're going to struggle making an impact day 1.
Yes.
So let's jump into Quentin Johnston and take that, Wheels.
All right, so there's a lot left to be desired for him play-wise.
Talk to me, girl.
I think a big reason why he's being as touted as he is his measurables. We just talked about that. They go off of measurables.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the guys don't go off of stats, they don't go off of gameplay, they don't go off of film, they go off of highlights.
I mean, it turned out
I want to see what you can do when you have bad quarterback play or when you're struggling in the game. That's what I want to see. My biggest issue with him is he does not catch with his hands.
No.
He just does not catch with his hands. He's a body receiver, which I absolutely hate because that's not going to work in the NFL. You're going to lose a lot of fumbles being a body catcher.
Not only that, it's just harder to. You're letting the ball come in, whereas you catch it out here, and it makes it a lot harder for a defender to get.
The way
Where
they
if you
can
let it
punch
come
it
into your
out.
body and you're getting hit at the same time, it's hitting your chest and going out.
Yep.
So you'll have fumbles, you'll have incompletions,
It's a no-no.
and I think NFL Draft Buzz has this guy as a number 1. I have him as 6, and I think that's even a little high. But with some of these guys, I think his height alone's getting him drafted. He looks like a tight end turned wide receiver for me personally.
Is 6'2". Is that correct?
No, he's
6. Yeah, he came in 6. He was 6'3" in college. He came out 6'2".
Before, because I did all this before. What you call it? It was.
That's
he was
actual
6'4".
combine measurement?
Yeah, it's combine. There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was 6'4", 215. He's 6'2", 207. That's
That's a lot of
that's a
lost
substantial
height.
drop.
That's
So
yeah.
Like I said, I think my biggest thing is his measurables are what is going to get him drafted. There's a lot like I said, a lot left to be desired. He has good hands. There's no, but at the end of the day, he's a body receiver.
it's hard to say.
I don't think he has the best hands in the class by any means.
No, I
so.
don't. No, he doesn't. I mean, honestly, I think he would actually be bottom tier hands. in my
I mean,
opinion.
just look
Because
at
he
it,
doesn't-
right?
yeah, he doesn't
You
use
could
them.
literally crop his face out and put Kelvin Benjamin's face in there.
You've been saying this for like 2 months, and I have to agree.
Kelvin Benjamin,
'Cause
boys.
I think Calvin was better, though. I'll be honest. I like this guy can't create
At
separation.
least Kelvin.
He can't create separation.
In my opinion, if this guy was actually 6'4",
Yeah.
he could be like a Darren Waller, right? He could be a big.
Oh, so he's just never going to be on the field?
Oh.
He could be a big slot. We're not talking.
Yes.
injuries.
No. That's no. But yeah, come across the middle.
He'd be a big
and
slot.
Yes.
Get him against the safety.
Catch
or
the
a
ball in your
linebacker.
hip. Yeah, I agree. Because yes. That's actually a good way to put him.
Then
yeah.
you could actually, yes, I would say yes, he would have a job in the NFL. But if you just put him on the edge against athletes, this kid's going to struggle. He's going to struggle. He has a very piss poor route running ability. I talked to my one buddy Shane about him multiple times. All he keeps bringing up is that 180, 90-yard touchdown, that slant route.
Who gives a
Who
shit?
You know what, though?
One play makes this guy elite.
So here's the thing,
so
and I
he's
think
4.4 speed at 6'2".
I think
Great.
this is Wheels' argument
is Ted Ginn.
constantly.
Yeah.
Is your name makes you draftable, but I think this is what matters: is big plays make you visible, and that's what people cling to. Now, the people that watch and scout
Like analysts.
don't cling to big plays.
No.
They think those are one-offs.
And that's what we're doing. We're not clinging to big
Correct.
plays. We're watching
Correct.
game film. We're not watching highlights. We're not looking at bullet points. We are watching
Now-
pure game film.
Now we gotta give him some positives, right?
I did. I mean,
He's got that really good spin move.
that's about it, though. That's not going to work. They're going to
And that's-
scheme for that.
Yeah, I
Day
know.
one.
That was it was a joke.
It just
was
looks
me
good
being
'cause of
funny.
the hair.
That was a good joke. All right.
But, I mean, no,
Sounds
that's
like
it.
he would be
The
compared to
body
Mike Williams.
catch, he needs to be shiftier. He relies on his intangibles too much. It's not going to translate. He's going to be a bust. And I'm gonna laugh. He is. I don't like him.
They're
I
coming
don't.
out and just saying it. I
don't
like it.
The only reason why I have him even remotely close to where he is because he was heavy in production for his team, and because of his size. He is talented, but he needs a lot of work, and that means he's got to break down and remove like key aspects to his game that got him here.
You know
and
what's
I don't think he's
funny
going to do it.
Is Jimmy said Mike Williams and Ryan said Darren Waller, and it just
No, Ryan said-
Well, no, hold on. Ryan said
Oh, he's
Darren
thinking
Waller,
injuries.
and then Ryan just said his main comp is Calvin Benjamin. Every single one of those guys are injury prone.
Yeah.
I don't want this guy at this point because I get that he's not showing that evidence, but all the guys you're comping him to, it's just. He's going to get injured just because if he's going to be using a slot, you're going to get hit a lot.
Yeah.
That's the most abused that's the most abused position for a wide receiver is the slot.
And that's why I like a smaller slot because they don't take hits as hard. No. They're usually a little
they're
more
faster.
They're usually more slippery.
Smaller. You got a smaller
Target.
So like a
area.
Jordan Addison type
All
of
right,
thing.
so let's move off this guy. And you know what? I forgot there was one other guy in this tier that everybody here is high on, and I think we probably should have moved him to a tier 1 the way you guys are high on him, but we don't know where he's going to be. Let's talk about Tank.
Yeah.
Tank
I don't know about
Dell,
that.
and have some
My boner.
conversation here. This
geez.
is Ryan's boner. Can we talk about the alfalfa hair in this picture, by the way? That is a.
Can you see it?
Yeah, it's actually going through the top graphic into the UH.
Oh, yeah.
there
you go.
It's a piece.
Ryan, talk to me. Tell me why Nathaniel, a.k.a. Tank Dell, is your guy. Your sleeper, dark horse.
Read the player summary.
Great receiver with the nickname Tank. for a reason. Ferocious after the catch and has a great lateral quickness in the open field.
So his name gets him drafted? I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just
Did my
kidding.
player summary literally sum it all up for you?
So when I watch this guy play, I get like just all like
He won't wear
You get
sweatpants when
tingly?
he watches this game.
I get tingly. I get excited. This guy makes me.
Big Chubster?
Yeah, I get a little happy.
I told you he won't wear sweatpants when he watches this
No,
game.
this dude is a baller. Another kid that has unbelievable talent coming from Houston. You know,
He produces.
he did. I mean,
Is
this
age a
another
factor
guy
for you at all?
No,
Okay, just asking.
no. Age wasn't a factor for Calvin Ridley, right? And he came out. He was like 25. So
But did he come out in the first round or second
Yes.
round?
Yes, he was a first round
yeah,
pick.
Okay.
he was
Okay.
25. So it's just this kid's going to be good. When I watched him, I comped him to Odell. I think he has
Oh, all right, out.
he has that
All right,
ability.
so anyways,
Jesus
moving on.
Christ, get him out of tier 2.
So he has the ability to get open. He catches
You
the ball.
comp this guy to Odell?
Yeah. Come on. See, here's the problem with talking with Browns fans.
He had to do that. It has nothing to do with Browns fans. Nothing to do with Browns fans.
Odell's got-
Odell's career is based on one catch.
No, hold on. No.
And all of his
It's not
training
even-
is just one-handed catches.
Listen, I brought the helmet that's got his signature on it, okay? So, like, I can make all the jokes I want. Earned it. Paid for it literally too much. Sorry, Sarah. Anyway,
This kid's the love child of Stephon Diggs and Odell Beckham.
that's...
I have to process that.
So what is he? You're saying the best or the worst of each? Like, what do you mean? Like, like the off-field issues with Stephon Diggs and the one-name wonder with Odell, or
One name one. I love it.
Hey, did you watch film on this guy?
Yes.
yes?
Don't
Okay.
I don't
I
have
have-
me.
I
I'm
have
not-
a
I'm
lot
not-
of pros. I actually really
I'm
like this
just
kid.
poking fun, buddy.
So
I'm just
Ryan,
poking fun.
can you give me a standout play that Tank Dell did that you was this is what
Ooh.
just set him off the charts for
I-
you?
I got
is
a
there a
real-
standout play that you could think of?
A standout play?
Yeah, like to where he caught the ball on the 10 and went up the sideline and then plowed over or broke 2 tackles and went all is there
I
a
do.
standout play for this guy that you
I
can
do.
think of off the top of your head that's this
No.
is the guy and this is why I think he is this is everything he's capable of in one play.
I have something.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, Houston played Cincinnati when Sauce was a senior,
Correct.
and he made Sauce look like a halfwit.
No, it's not. No, he didn't.
Yes.
It wasn't just Sauce all the time. They
No, it
moved him
wasn't. It
around.
wasn't. It wasn't. That's why when I watched specifically,
He's just saying
for when he
specifically one
had
play.
Sauce, and there was a play he got them all spun around.
Yes.
He had 10 yards separation on Sauce. Sauce is
So his route running is that good too?
He has an
feet-
elite
yes.
route tree.
His route running's great. He never missed a game due to injury. Never.
He's a
The
tank.
only thing that I think he needs to work on is his dead leg.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that
Drops
is,
and fumbles.
no, is when you are coming out of your break
That's what he needs to work on.
a route, is your dead leg, your plant leg. It should be hit, turn. He tends to round his routes a little
He
bit
shows
He
us it
twists.
sooner.
He twists
Instead
upper
of-
body
instead
Yeah.
of stopping, dead legging, and then turning into it, which
That
would
can be
require
taught.
it absolutely
In the
can be
NFL,
taught
that
in
can
the
be
NFL.
taught. Yeah,
the only
for
person
sure.
that could not learn it was Corey Coleman.
God.
and he couldn't catch the freaking ball
He
either.
couldn't
What a
catch it. Oh,
bust.
that
All
hurt.
right,
That hurt.
There's the reason we're 0-16 one of the years.
Wheels, did you have anything to input on Dell?
He was used from the games I watched. He was primarily used as a slot receiver. From what I saw,
Okay.
I think
And
majority
he
of his
can-
snaps were on the outside.
and he can start and stop at a dime.
Round me outside. Round me outside. round
I mean,
me
he's
outside.
like Ryan said, he's shifty as hell,
Yes.
and he's
he does
strong.
have a nasty twitch.
Yeah, but like you said, my one bad thing that I saw on him, and that was against SMU, was like you said, coming out of the route, he kind of shows what he's going to do. He twists his upper body before like you said, putting the plant leg down and just going.
He scripts his routes, essentially. All right.
But he has a great route tree.
Yeah.
I mean, he runs fluid route. His ball tracking is elite. I think he has probably, from the tier 2 guys we're going to talk about, he has the best upside and the best ball tracking coming out of a route. He doesn't stop. He continues through his stride. He can go over the middle and take a hit. He can play anywhere on the field. Okay. But in the games that I watched, he was used in the slot quite a bit.
All right, let's move on from Tank. I think he's probably going to go to like the top of our tier 1 Tank, just because everybody loves this kid, and he had a great combine too. Like his combine numbers were really good. Let's go to another guy who I think's dropped for majority of people, but I don't know why. You guys are gonna have to explain this one to me. Is Booty, however you want to say his last name. It's Kayshon Boutte. So Ryan, talk to me about some booty.
He wants the booty.
I mean, I think the reason why he dropped is, people are just a little concerned about, injury, and, he ran the 4.5. People kind of felt like he was going to be more in the, 4.4, lower 4.4 area. He does have explosiveness. He's quick in and out of his cuts. The route tree's there. I didn't know he was 20 years old.
He'll be 21.
He'll be 21. He's 20.9.
Actually, I think he'll be
right
21
in
like 2 days.
That's
like,
that's nice, man. I mean, you want young guy. I mean, he is a junior. I comped him to AJ Brown. I saw a lot of
shit. That's huge upside.
I saw a little bit of AJ Brown in his game. Not really. He's not crazy violent. There's a few times where he'll catch the ball and just kind of fall, which is kind of an issue, but that's stuff that can be worked on. I think, it's the scare factor for him, with that injury he had. But his ability, his catch radius is nasty. He has that nasty twitch in his game, his knack for going in, stopping and twisting his body to get to the ball, his boundary, his ability to know where the boundary is to catch the ball, to get 2 feet in. There was multiple times where I watched him get 2 feet in instead of 1. That's all you need in college is 1 foot.
There you go.
But he's putting 2 feet in, showing college or NFL scouts, hey, I got this. He's got the ability to be at the next level, an elite receiver, but I think it's just
elite.
The fear factor that puts you in your tier 2.
Yeah.
You think he can be elite?
I think he can. Yeah.
Like top 10?
No.
That's elite.
Well. Okay.
You mean elite for this draft class?
That's what I would consider.
Let's use the show's rankings. For elite for us is a franchise guy, a guy that's going to be a receiver day in and day out for a team. You think he has that capability?
This guy could be good.
A starter. He's a starter.
Yes, he's a starter.
Okay. All right. I want to keep it with our consensus on the show how we're ranking these guys. Okay. So if we're gonna say elite, that means an elite plus is a Hall of Famer. So like, we just need to keep that.
Yeah, I don't
consistent.
see that.
All right. So Steve, talk to me about Booty.
You want to hear Booty?
Yeah. Rocking everywhere.
So what I noticed with him, right, in the games I watched, he is always working for his quarterback. If his quarterback's struggling, he's trying to get open for him. I think that's big in a receiver. That shows you give a shit. And I mean honestly, you see with a bunch of these guys that they don't. Yeah. You don't see brother. What about him?
Booty will be in the XFL in 3 years playing with the Orlando Guardians.
You really don't like him, G. All right, I want to hear why. You go ahead and put why up there.
Yeah,
while you talk.
Exactly.
He has the skills to play outside. He can be an X, but they used him in slot often. Now, I don't know if that was because he was the most talented. You want to get the ball to your better playmakers often. And if that's the case, then that's what LSU had to do this year. But above all, I mean, his body control was great. His hands are good. He has good route running. He's got a good route tree. I mean, 4.5, that's not awful. He's going to be a good possession receiver, in my opinion. He's not going to burn you, but he's definitely not going to lose you a game, in my opinion.
All right.
From what I saw, I like him. I mean, I watched Florida and Bama. Both of those games were pretty hard fought. So,
how about you, Wheels?
I didn't watch him. I'll be honest. He's not in my top 15.
Wow. So you didn't even want to look at him?
No.
An LSU receiver, you don't even want to take a look at?
No.
Wide receiver.
I didn't. That's not wide receiver.
Damn it, Jimmy.
You're on crack.
I'm just saying, like,
what's wrong with crack? Oh.
we just talked the other day about wide receiver use, right? About Ohio State, LSU, and Alabama.
They may not be wide receiver U, but they're considered
But-
highly
Well,
touted.
that's what I just
Yeah.
said. Out of those three teams, Ohio State, LSU, and Alabama,
LSU produces some pretty good.
wouldn't you
I'm not
want to look
saying-
at those receivers on those teams immediately, whether you knew their name or not?
I looked at other teams, other players.
I
He
won't
wasn't
berate
in
you
my
for
top
it,
15.
but I just to have him not even close, kind of throws me
I
off.
think LSU has another receiver coming out this year. I didn't look at him either.
Well,
But I mean, okay. So I guess when it comes down to that, it's you look at these sites and you look at who these guys are touting, and you kind of go off of that. And he was, I think, on NFL Draft Buzz, he's like 14.
I don't know.
I don't know. Off the top of my head.
Give me a second.
But
13.
Yep, 13.
let's talk about, since you guys, Ryan's the only one that sees a potential for him to move to a tier 1 guy.
There is
No, I
potential.
like him. I like him a lot.
I'm not the only one. Yeah, Steve liked him.
It didn't sound like you liked him too much.
I like him a bunch.
Jimmy doesn't. He says.
No, he was
no,
joking.
he
He
just-
was joking.
I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't look. like
He
could do
has
so
the
much.
same take as Wheels. He didn't watch him.
Go watch him play.
He is nice to watch because
I'll go watch him.
he runs hard. Like you said, he falls down. He has the Austin Hooper.
If I remember
That's
correctly,
not often though. That's not all the time. It is.
if I remember correctly, he had very good route running.
He is very good at route running.
But I don't remember how much separation he had. But it's been a while since I've watched LSU.
It's not elite separation.
I would not say he's shifty. He's not shifty.
AJ Brown is that's the.
He's a
potential.
contested catch guy, though.
Yes.
AJ Brown is a guy that you can throw the ball his way, and he's going to probably catch 80%
Yes.
of what is.
And that's what I saw in his film. I mean, Keyshawn, I wanted to comp him to like an Anquan Bolden, but he's just faster than Anquan.
Anquan.
Well, but Anquan
is he really?
My thing with Anquan, so I see what your argument is. Anquan is like 90% of what comes his way, he's going to
Yes,
catch.
like
Yes.
his
Okay.
body control, jumping in the air, twisting himself like a freaking orca coming out of water.
Anquan Bolden.
That's just something that.
But I
you
see what his
can't-
argument is.
Yeah, I do too.
It's hard to.
I get it. I get it. All right,
I'm talking about the Anquan I saw playing for
Yeah.
the Ravens.
Right.
He made some
Of course.
acrobatic catches.
of
All right,
course.
I agree.
Yeah, why,
All right.
why would I talk about anybody else?
But you know
only
what, though?
cop the guys I know.
That's the point of being
Which
fans,
is-
because then we know what we see, so that we can give that.
That's the reason why we as Browns fans struggle comping receivers, because we haven't had one who hasn't had a
Hey,
concussion
man, you guys,
in like
had,
Oh,
15
man.
you guys
years.
had Flash Gordon that one year, and he was
Man.
fun to watch.
And then he
that one
smoked the
Yeah,
doobie.
that one year.
and
Then,
it all
yeah,
went downhill.
yeah, he hit a
Oh,
bong
my
or
God.
some shit.
Nah, I think he was high and stoned.
And he had Terrell Pryor. Terrell Pryor was fun that
High
one
and
year.
stoned is the
Yes,
same
he
thing.
was.
He
Terrell
was
Pryor did
high
look
and
good that
drunk.
year.
Thank you. I didn't say I was intelligent.
I mean,
all right, let's
If
move
you can,
on.
you can play ball hammered
Let's
like
get off
that.
Kayshawn. I think Kayshawn, you guys, I guess we would like. This is going to be a hard one to rank in the tier 2. But let's jump into the Mr. Downs. Let's talk about Downs
Listen,
because Wheels.
that statement can be
let's
taken
get-
Yes.
No.
very
Hey,
insensitively.
Let's talk about Josh Downs. And let's get Wheels' take, because I think Wheels had Downs a little higher, right?
he has 8. So, from what I watched on him, he's got great route running. This kid always finds a way to get open. That whether it's creating separation or making the guy miss, whatever he has to do, he gets open for his wide receiver, which I like. I mean, you're sitting there and you're just trying to get open no matter what. Even if you have to go out of your route and go off a second cue, that's what he does. He's got great football IQ. He never seems to give up what his route is coming out of his break, like we were talking about with Quentin Johnson?
Quentin
Yeah,
Johnson.
Quentin
With Quentin Johnson. And he did not have the greatest, I should say, the greatest year for what he showed. But if you watch the film, which I guess is what you guys are saying about Boutte,
Big
I
old
can
booty.
see.
Big booty.
Johnny, can you pull that graphic up and read that summary real quick? Because this is where my thought process was with Josh Downs.
Deep route tree has burst to his speed. His 10-yard split's 1.49 seconds. Being able to get off the line very quick. Capable of playing special teams and struggles against press coverage.
So the 1.49 split, the 10-yard split, was like there was 4 guys that ran below a 1.5 split in the combine. So speaking to what you said earlier, Wheels, like he gets off the line.
Yeah, he
Like,
he doesn't have all that yak yards.
Yeah.
That was
So,
that's my biggest down. That's why I have him a little bit lower.
That's your biggest down, all pun
My
intended.
biggest
Down on
down on downs is, so I think he on your graphic he only averaged 10.9 yards per catch.
Yes. Yeah.
But if you watch,
that's for the 2022 season.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know what he did in 2020.
if you I watched him against Virginia and he reminds me kind of a Higgins, of a T. Higgins type of guy. He gets open and that's about it. He creates
I was
separation,
gonna say,
get
when
open.
you say T. Higgins, I'm thinking a 6'2",
No.
250 pound,
I'm saying
15-pound
his
guy, like,
the way he gets the ball and continues. He doesn't have a lot of yards after the catch capability, from what I see. He gets open, gets
T.
those
Higgins,
yards,
I
and
don't know.
goes.
I don't know what T. Higgins' yak is, but T. Higgins breaks
3.9.
tackles. So
Yeah, T. Higgins doesn't have a lot of yak.
No.
He just
All right.
gets open.
All right.
And that's what, I mean, for a smaller wide receiver, it's kind of surprising to me.
Interesting.
But
So
this is what I
that's-
saw from him.
Oh, you know what? I never. Okay. That's.
So Ryan, give me what you got on downs.
He hates him.
I don't hate this kid. Why do you keep
Hates
saying
him.
that?
You say that about everything.
He hates him. He hates
why
everyone.
Steve is saying this because everybody that Wheels likes, we just assume you hate.
Oh,
That's
I
probably
like Josh
why.
Downs. I think he's going to be.
You like the downs?
He's going to be a good slot receiver. I think he'll have
You're going to hell.
a
no.
Cole Beasley type career. That's
Our
what I have
uncle
him
was,
comped
we're
to.
allowed to.
Shout out Uncle Kirk.
You know,
Eek.
he's fearless. You know, he's a fearless slot receiver. He's not afraid to get hit. He's not afraid to go across the middle. Like you guys said, he's got a good route tree.
Not yet.
I think I read his QB rating when he's targeted is 125.
That's what's up.
That's unbelievable.
Well, you know why?
I don't think that's
His
accurate.
contested catch rate is 72.2%.
Is it accurate? I think it was like 125. It was something.
123.8.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Wow.
he's
My
right
bad.
there.
That is high. That
So-
is-
I'll give it to you. You're close enough.
I like this guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's an elite number one. That's why I think he'll.
No.
You know, he's
Well,
going to
that's
go.
why he's a tier 2 guy,
He's going
right?
to go. You know, maybe day 2.
Third round.
You know,
Mid.
yeah. I think he'll go day
He's
2.
got a good quarterback throwing to him.
Yeah.
He'll probably be the quarterback.
fast.
What's his name? He'll be a first round pick next year.
This kid's twitchy, man. He's quick.
Mayor.
Is this? I have
The
a
kid out of
I-
UNC?
I have a question for you because from what you guys are explaining to me, all I'm thinking of is Sky Moore.
Oh.
That's a diss.
Yeah.
Well,
Sky Moore-
it's a
Sky-
diss because Sky Moore hasn't done anything. But when Sky Moore was coming out of college, there was so much hype on this kid,
Jake.
and there's people that are still afraid to check out on Sky Moore because they think that his potential is still there.
No, you know why they're afraid to check out on Sky Moore is because he plays for the Chiefs and he has Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball.
People love Sky Moore going to the
Yeah.
Chiefs in general.
Exactly.
It's not.
That's
no,
what
no,
I'm
no,
saying.
It's not a Chiefs thing. It's a Sky Moore thing. They thought Sky Moore could go anywhere and do something good, and maybe
He hasn't done anything.
Sky Moore being on the Chiefs is what's hurting him.
Not only did
No.
they not do anything, they traded
There's
for
no
Kadarius
wide receiver
Toney.
on the Chiefs. You got Juju.
It's,
Not anymore.
Well, two things.
No,
you
they're
have
trying to sign him,
Two
though.
things you have to keep in mind is when Sky Moore went to the Chiefs, he started and he had injury. So like they didn't put him on the field right away. So then they waited to bring him in, and then they went out and got Kadarius Toney, and then they started to use Sky Moore slowly. I just don't think some guys are not practice guys, and if Sky Moore is not a practice guy, that hurts his chance to get on the field.
I didn't like Sky Moore.
So all I'm saying is like everybody loved this kid coming out of college. They thought he was going to be the dark horse last year's draft, and
Sure was.
which you
He
guys
played
are
at, what,
saying,
Western
which
Michigan,
you
I
guys
think,
are
too.
saying with Downs
Central or something like that. Yeah.
makes me think of the Sky Moore thought process.
Okay.
Is he has the
You're
route
not
running, he
saying
has
he
the
is.
speed,
Okay.
he has the ability to give his quarterback the opportunity to catch the ball, but I saw nothing out of Sky Moore last year.
See, the
Except in the
Josh
Super
Downs
Bowl.
isn't like him. He's more like
The punt
he's
return.
like a Cole Beasley or a Rondell Moore type of player.
Ooh.
Well, Cole,
yeah,
so
I like
Cole
that.
Beasley
Yeah, I like
to
that.
me is a poor man's Wes Welker. He's a very contested catch guy. He's going to everything that's going to come
there's
his way.
nothing
He's
poor
going to
man
be a
about him.
possession guy.
Yeah.
Cole Beasley.
Wes Welker
He was
was
awesome.
well,
and Cole Beasley was a.
When I say
He's a
poor
dog.
man, Wes Welker was
Yeah.
an elite. Like Wes Welker's a first-round ballot Hall of Fame receiver.
Helps when you play with.
You can look at me
helps when
and
you
praise
play.
all you want. Wes Welker's. I think he had like
Had
80
Tom Brady and Peyton
As
Manning.
what
Yeah,
two
but it doesn't
quarterbacks did he
matter.
play
I
with?
think he caught like 80% of his passes. Like that's ridiculous
That
numbers.
is, it's great, but that's not going to make you a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Why are you hating on Cole Beasley?
No, I'm just saying
Hates him.
he's not Wes Welker. Is what I
Well,
would
no,
say.
he's not Westwood. He doesn't.
So-
he
You're
doesn't
right, he's
have
Cole
two
Beasley.
Wes
Pro
Welker's
or Hall of Fame quarterbacks throwing
He's
to
gonna
him.
dog you now.
Welker's catch percentage was 70.8 in his career.
That's pretty damn
That's
good when you look
very
at
good.
top wide receivers.
That's good.
That's good
But
for a
it's
white
not
guy.
80.
That's
it's pretty close.
It's not 80.
All right.
that's 10%.
Is there anything you
But that
guys?
was my thought process going towards Josh Downs.
Is
so
there anything you guys didn't like on Josh Downs?
Yes.
Steve always has his negatives.
Yes,
So
he does.
That's why I was. That was my shit.
Pessimistic
So-
Steve, let's give it to me.
His catch radius is it's limiting, right? But
He's
that's
5'9".
But that's the point. Your catch radius is small. So if you're going to go to a team, you need to go to a team with what I would consider an accurate passer,
An elite passer.
an elite passer. So in my opinion, he would not fit well on teams like the Bills or the Eagles.
So Cincinnati, Justin Herbert,
I
Chargers.
think he would be a good fit. Yes, for the Chargers.
Oh yeah.
For the
They
Bengals.
kind of have that though. With the Chargers.
Mahomes, he'd be he would. I mean, because it's accurate. He's got good hands.
DeAndre Carter.
I like his burst out off the line. He's got a good burst. He is fast.
Teams need players like this.
His jump off the
Yes.
line
He's
is
not.
intense.
He's another
it is
scrappy
intense.
kid.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you like your 3 receiver sets, then
I-
you need a guy like this, someone who's, the scrappy.
Yeah.
I use the word a lot, but
Scrappy dude.
he'll
he's
make.
not- he's scrappy every day.
So
yeah,
as a Browns fan, is this a good fit on the Browns? Like, and the only reason I'm saying this is because Jakeem Grant was
Yes.
injured last year.
He's
Yeah.
a return
And
specialist.
he could be a return specialist
You could use
and
this guy
have
as
the
a return
potential.
guy if you
So-
want to kill him.
This dude could be. He could be a. He doesn't have track star speed, but he's got
But a
better
149
hands.
jump is quick.
He can.
Quick.
I think that he can help us. As us, I mean the Browns.
I'm just asking because, like,
But-
I think the Browns need something.
I think that they didn't utilize Bell effectively last year.
They need to put him in the slot. Put
They
him over
need-
the middle. The guy
put-
can take a
put-
hit.
Exactly.
I don't care about David Bell. I was just
I do.
curious. Is
All right,
this
so-
a guy that fit? Because we need a special teams guy who could possibly be a receiver.
Fits for the Browns.
Going-
Jalen Hyatt, Trey Palmer, Tyler Scott.
That's what you have as fits for the Browns, or is
Those
that
3
just,
players right there. If I was the Browns, I'd be targeting those 3 players.
wasn't the
So
late Browns?
going off of what Ryan said with the 3 wide receiver set. So you have your let's do the Cincinnati Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 wide receiver set since they don't have Tyler Boyd.
Well, they
I don't
have
think anymore.
Irwin though. See, that's the thing. Like,
That's just an example. I'm just using them an example
Okay.
for real quick. So you have Jamar Chase,
Yep.
you have T. Higgins,
Yep.
and you have Josh Downs. Your 2 guys are going to get main coverage all the time. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Josh Downs is a guy who every now and again can get you that 3rd and 6 to a first down. He'll get you that play. He's not going to be an anchor for that offense to get a first down, and he's not going to be a star every single play. But he's scrappy enough, like Ryan said, going off of that.
Isn't that a fun word to say?
Yes, 100%.
well, that's that. So that's the Cole Beasley comp. That,
Yes.
that makes,
That's
okay.
yeah. I'm just emphasizing he can.
Maybe I
he
shouldn't
shines in
maybe I
certain.
didn't understand that.
Yeah,
Comp that
he
well.
shines in
Okay.
certain spots.
Okay.
Where it matters and where it can help
He
the
doesn't
team.
give up on the play either. And
That's what I said. He finds a way
Yeah.
to get open
Yeah.
constantly. He's got that dog in him.
All right,
He does.
I
So
like
he's
that, especially if you're getting that guy in the 3rd
scrappy.
round.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so let's move off of Downs and let's go to.
Ups.
No, we're gonna go to
Jalen Hyatt. We haven't
Yeah,
talked about
We're
him.
gonna go to Hyatt, who
Also-
nobody likes but one person.
I'm
We're gonna
also-
give this one to Wheels. and
I love my Volunteers.
I'm a big Tennessee fan. too.
I've been a big Vols fan for the last couple of years, probably since about 2011.
That's more than a couple years, buddy.
Yeah. I like the Volunteers. I love Ohio State, but the Volunteers they're up there with me for what they've produced.
Before Wheels goes, run through my summary for me, and then we'll just have Wheels jump right in and tell me why he likes Hyatt so much.
He has elite speed in college, and his limited
You're just
route, his limited route tree made it easy to outrun DBs, outrun, and
Outrun.
catch deep passes. Played most of his snaps in the slot in 2022. When targeted, his QB has the highest QBR in college.
So, if you guys are looking at the player card, look at that broad jump. That kid can go up after a high ball and just snag it.
That's not what that means.
His catch radius.
The broad
I
jump is more burst.
Yeah, I would say that has to do
Or
a
not,
lot
sorry,
with
not broad jump, vertical.
the
I'm
vert.
sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, brain fart. So if you look at his vert,
Thought it smelled. In here. I thought it was my upper lip.
Oh, that's a
I'm
dad
birded
joke.
oil. I'm sorry, I birded oil. If you look at his vert, he goes up and gets the contested ball consistently. His catch radius is elite for, in my opinion, for some of these wide receivers coming out. And yeah, like you said, he is open a lot because they did have Cedric Tillman, who I didn't watch much of, but I did watch him in the games with Jalen Hyatt. Hyatt was schemed open quite a bit, so he may have banked off of that just a tad in college. But if you watch the Tennessee-Alabama game,
which I watched that
I think
so
he had
many times.
13 receptions in that game.
5 touchdowns.
And 5 touchdowns. He is a huge red zone threat.
How many of those were he just like wide open?
I think 3.
Every one of them.
Oh, is this the guy
No.
you're saying that's schemed open all the time?
Yeah, he was.
Let's not forget. Chase Claypool had 5 touchdowns in a game in the NFL, right? And then what happened? TikTok.
He went to the Bears.
He went to the Bears for
A first, 32nd overall.
for literally a first-round pick.
So
Oh, sorry, 31st overall now.
No, it's 32nd.
Was it 32nd?
It's
Okay.
32nd
I agree
overall
with what
because
you're
Miami
saying.
lost their pick.
So
Oh,
you're
yeah, that's
trying to see the upside in a player like this. So he does have elite speed, right? 4.4 4.4 to 4.35.
Elite athleticism
Yeah.
in general.
And he still did great when Hendon Hooker was out. When Hendon Hooker got injured towards the end of the season, he
Yeah, he
still
did.
put up numbers.
Yes, you did.
So he's another guy who, no matter seemingly what the quarterback play is, he's going to put up those stats consistently. And yeah, maybe because he's schemed him, and maybe because Cedric Tillman's on the opposite side. But
That's right.
let's be honest, all these guys in the NFL that are drafting wide receivers, there's going to be another guy on the other side. There's not a team right now besides the Carolina Panthers that really don't have a wide receiver that can create separation, get open, that they're scheming for. So, I mean, Jalen Hyatt, I think I like him. He's tier 1 personally for me, but as a show, I think he is tier 2 for the way that you look at some of these wide receivers. And I think this wide receiver class is kind of underrated. It's small. I think that's why people are hating on it. I'm not a huge fan of small wide receivers. But a lot of these small wide receivers I like. I mean, I've never been a huge fan of these smaller guys.
He dropped quite a few passes in the combine.
That's what his hands. He went down.
It's funny that
in
you
the
say that.
Combine. His combine hurt him.
He had better hands during the season.
It's funny you say that because I had this argument with these guys last week, and I said,
His contested catch rate 60%.
I think the combine has a lot to say if you can't catch a ball in the open field. But these guys said, well, I like it if you can catch it on film, but not at the combine.
But
I don't care.
You just said about a practice guy. Maybe he's not a practice guy for whatchamacallit.
But one of the other things about the combine is how many people in the world are watching you.
I get, but game film doesn't lie.
What's the pressure of the combine?
Yeah, but game film doesn't
he dropped
lie.
5 touchdowns on Bama. I don't know. I guess pressure, it's like,
but like
it
I
depends
said,
on how you weigh it.
Game film doesn't lie. You're not going to be.
No, game film does
Ball don't
lie.
lie.
There are people that have phenomenal games, like he just said. Chase Claypool had 5 touchdowns in a game, and then everybody's like, "This guy's the guy. This guy's the next guy."
No,
but let's not forget that Ben Roethlisberger has an arm, and he was capable of throwing downfield.
Get out of here! But no, not that you're not going to know. You're not.
Says the guy wearing a Pens jersey to the fan.
You do realize that was the year before the injury.
His rookie year, he had great stats.
Right, that was the year before the injury for Ben. He was capable of throwing downfield.
Then what happened after that?
I thought he got hurt.
Ben couldn't throw downfield.
Okay, so that affects Chase Claypool's play, where he shines in. That's where Chase Claypool shines in his downfield.
Literally, my argument is Chase Claypool hasn't done shit since Ben got hurt.
Okay, and
that was my argument.
All right, but you're dissing Jalen Hyatt like he's Chase Claypool because of that.
No, I said that there are times where the game does lie, and the 5-touchdown game lied. That was my argument.
Are you saying that's Claypool's fault, or is that Ben's fault?
It's quarterback.
No, I'm saying the game lied. Claypool was not that good. That was what I was saying.
Yeah, I think Claypool is that good. He can be that good.
Really?
I don't think he's going to be 5 touchdowns, but I think he can be a top guy.
Well, 5 touchdowns is rare. I'm just saying.
I know.
So Jimmy said
it helps when you have a quarterback that can throw more than 10, 15 yards that Ben couldn't do.
Jimmy said the guy in a volleyball shirt talking to the guy in a hockey jersey on a football podcast.
It's a sweater. It's a hockey sweater. All right,
it's a hockey sweater. I love my Pens. That's about all I like in Pittsburgh.
I love Jimmy.
That and Heinz ketchup is pretty good.
I need to meet you
all
one
right,
day.
so I need the groups. I need the groups intake on this, right? So everybody, NFL Draft Buzz, their comp to Hyatt is Jameson Williams.
It's 'cause of his speed.
You can't
Because of
even
his
comp
speed.
that. The guy hasn't played.
Jameson Williams had a great 6 games
No,
in the
he
NFL.
has-
But he's not.
how are you gonna
Jalen Hyatt
comp
is
that?
not
They're
Jameson
comping
Williams.
him to what
Yes.
Jameson was coming out of college.
Yes.
I hate the NFL draft, but for some of their comps because they comp
Do you
Zay
see that at
Flowers
all?
as AB,
Hold on.
and then they comp this guy as Jameson Williams, who's
They
only played in
comped Zay
6
Flowers
games.
to Antonio
No, they
Brown?
didn't. That was
I
talked
think-
about. I didn't see
Hold
it.
on, I think.
Anyway,
It doesn't
do
matter.
you see Jameson Williams and his?
No.
I don't either.
I see Nelson Aguilar.
No, see, yeah, because you don't like him.
Well, Nelson Aguilar had a couple good years.
He did.
Not in the pros.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
He's-
Look what he did on the Raiders the one year.
Look what.
And then he went to the Patriots.
I could see this guy
He did
being.
not play well for the
this
Patriots.
This is my career projection for
Oh, jeez.
Jalen Hyatt is Marquez Valdez-Scantling
Oh.
/
That's his high?
Nelson Aguilar.
Oh my.
That's
God.
his high?
That's all I got for you.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all, folks.
So, that will take
But
it-
why?
that-
Why do you view him as that?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Everything he's done. He caught a lot of touchdowns.
That's not his fault, though.
No.
He took advantage of the play. I don't get you guys with that. That's their job. They're supposed to catch the
The
ball.
offensive
open.
coordinator,
So,
which is great.
okay,
on the
so
offensive
because
coordinator.
he's
Hey, one at a time.
Because he schemed open, you're going to diss the guy. How did he get open?
I didn't
How is he
see-
consistently open?
I didn't see.
I don't get
because
that. That's just a
nobody-
lazy take. I'm
Get him.
sorry.
Get
Just
him.
because he gets open,
Oh.
that doesn't hurt him. It's the same thing with
I mean, we're
freaking
not
Chase
saying-
Claypool.
we're not
We
saying
broke
he's-
Just
him.
because he
we're
had a
not
good
saying
game,
he's getting open.
everybody
He's
thinks
not
he could be
getting
that good
getting
consistently.
open.
Get him.
Yeah, I'm
The difference
getting
is,
pissed.
no, what Ryan's saying
Moving
is there's a
open.
difference between pick
Hold on.
plays
Hey.
and route
Nobody
running.
is running with him.
I love it.
Everyone is running away from him.
Okay,
that
and
helps
that's-
catch touchdowns.
That's not his fault.
And
That's
then-
just stupid.
and then you have elite
He's taking
speed.
advantage.
You have stupid good speed. You can get away. So yeah, if you can get schemed open, and you can run away from guys, and then catch the ball and hopefully not drop it like MBS or some other bum, then you're gonna
I
do
just
well.
don't. I'm not saying this guy has potential to be like a Deshaun Jackson, right? Has potential to be that.
I hate Deshaun.
I would say
I don't like that either.
Deshaun
I don't
Jackson get
think
hit
he
by
can
a
be
car
that.
and I wouldn't feel anything.
Wow, that's horrible.
I know.
because Deshaun's faster.
I don't
But he
think
was
the
mainly
car- I don't
utilized
think the
as
car
a
would
straight
feel
guy,
anything either.
kickoff,
He
and punt
was.
returner.
That's what Jalen Hyatt is. He's a straight guy.
He's not a route runner.
No, I agree.
He's a one-dimensional talent who
Is
yes,
slower
he
than
catch-
Deshaun Jackson.
Yes, he doesn't have good.
He's not
hands.
running 4-3-3.
Now, do you?
But he's
I-
physical.
I think
I mean,
Deshaun
the
was
guy's a
faster than that.
physical player. He was in college his entire career, all 3 years.
He could break tackles despite his smaller size. It wasn't every play, but he did show a little knack for it. I mean, winning the Biletnikoff, it's an accomplishment. Jordan Addison won it last year in 2021
With Pitt.
with
yeah.
Pitt.
I just don't. I don't get them. I don't get tingles. I don't get half mass.
I'm
you
not
know
getting
what?
tingles
And
either, but I'm going to give
I
the
don't
guy
get half
respect when he deserves it.
Well,
So Deshaun was a 4.3540, just in comparison.
right, but that's a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, do you know
Right.
how rare that is?
That's why I said.
Yeah.
He ran a 4.41.
So wheels, right? So wheels. I guess the other argument
I
would
thought.
be like,
Oh,
you
what are
think Hendon
doing?
Hooker's the best quarterback in this draft,
When healthy,
barring
yes.
injury.
When
Even
healthy.
even
So
even
the
with his
question
injury
is-
and his age,
well, the
yeah.
question is, do you think Hendon Hooker has a big factor on what this guy did?
No, because
college?
even when he was hurt, he still put up numbers.
The same numbers he was putting up with
I'm
Hooker?
pretty sure.
You don't have to look that up. I'm just
same
saying.
numbers.
So I'm just saying, like, we're going on based on 2 years. So with Hooker, and that's why I'm asking. But let's take this. Our tier 2.
Yes.
Our tier 2. I think we got a 1 overall in our tier 2, which would be Tank Dell. So you guys love everything about him. You said he's 2 inches away from being a tier 1 guy.
Made Sauce look stupid.
If he was 2 inches taller, he would be a tier 1 guy for you, all of you guys.
Yeah.
Let's go to the second guy, and I think this is Kayshon Boutte. I think this is another guy I think that you guys have high up there. There's very high potential. The only risk here is the injury factor. You guys think, all of you guys were saying that he has the potential to be a guy that could start. So, and then I think the number 3 is Quentin Johnston. I know you guys weren't a fan of him. If he does have injury come into play in the NFL, I think you guys said there's so much ceiling, but there's also the ability where, like, I don't
So
know.
you're looking at stats, right?
Does his
Go look at
drive
Ryan Switzer's stats.
does his drive not match his physical
Stats are
stature?
misleading, bud.
I'm not.
Ask that question again. I'm sorry.
Does
Okay.
Quentin Johnston's drive not match his physical stature?
When I think of
He's only played one game with that.
when I think of Quentin Johnston, I think of a guy that can do it if he learns to catch properly.
So
But he has to have he has to put in the
is
time
his
to do it.
drive not the same as his physical stature? Is my question, because it seems like you guys have more of a knock, not based on his stature, based on it seems to be like what his input is in the game.
It's just the way he runs.
Like
He
there's no
runs-
aggression.
No,
It looks uncoordinated.
He
Like he
He
hasn't
looks like
grown
he's-
into his body.
Yeah, his legs are longer than than he's used to. It looks
Okay.
like.
which is funny because he's not slow, but he also like.
No, you know why
seems
he's-
it seems like he's leaned on his athletic ability his entire life, and he's never had to really like get better. He's always just been that guy,
So-
and he's gonna get smoked in practice.
So what I'm getting is drive. Like he needs to learn to play.
he needs to learn. Yeah, if he
He's quicker because he has such long legs too. His stride is just huge.
I think what helped him at the college level was people respected his top end speed.
yeah.
So naturally,
So they-
yeah,
they would play off
my
him,
one
yep.
buddy always brings up that slant route I told you guys about.
Right.
Well, yeah, because they're giving him a 8-yard, 7-yard
Yes.
cushion, and so the slant's there, and when they're blitzing and bringing safeties up to cover tight ends or running backs out of the backfield, it's easy to take a slant when a guy's giving you 7 yards when you have 4.4 speed.
You're gonna burn him.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I think when I watch this dude catch a ball.
I mean,
and he
Kayshawn,
runs-
if you go look, Kayshawn Booty did the same thing.
Well, we
Yeah, he
have
did.
Kayshawn Booty higher than Johnston.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
you know what I think when I watch this guy? He runs like a little 8-yard sit route, and he comes through and he does that spin.
What is it with Jimmy in the XFL, dude?
He does this all the time.
loves the
I
XFL.
see this guy flaming out because
Yeah.
I watch that spin move, and every time I
the
watch
dreads,
it,
dude. I'm telling you.
every time I watch it, you know what it reminds me of? It's like, man, somebody told him in practice one day, like, dude, this would look really cool if you just did this, and he just started doing it, and it's just now a knack.
He anchored it.
It's
That's all he
it's
uses.
second nature for him. He does it every single catch.
All right. So Quentin Johnston's our 3 in our second tier, and then I think
Bust.
we're gonna go Josh Downs as our 4 in our second tier.
I would have Downs ahead of him, but
Well, I just think there's a difference in stature, ability, speed. I just think Quentin Johnston,
just saying my piece.
and that's fine. But I just think like we can't knock the poor guy who is probably going to get drafted in the first round when Josh Downs is not. So
It's still a mistake.
I'll take Josh Downs.
and
over
I take
Quentin
that, and I
Johnson.
take
I
that.
agree.
And when I think you guys like Josh Downs, his ability across the field, he can do so many different positions. There's a lot more potential with Downs, but again, physical ability. The guy's not the biggest guy in the world. And you're going against bigger
You're
guys.
right, that is a USFL team.
Yeah, he talks about USFL teams more than XFL teams.
Come on, G,
But
be
it's
better.
funny. So, Josh Downs will be at our number 4, and Josh Downs has the ability to make a day 1 impact as a special teams player.
Yes.
And then I
Create
think
a bigger
at
role.
5 in our tier 2 would be Hyatt. So Jalen Hyatt will be at 5 in our tier 2, and you guys heard a whole bunch about him at the start. So we're gonna jump right into our tier 3.
Let's go.
And we're gonna stay
Is it,
with
is
the
it
same.
just me, or does anybody else, when they see Josh Downs, do they just want to start singing Bruno Mars?
Hold on.
Go back to Josh Downs.
It's the hair.
Oh
It's the
man,
hair.
there it is.
It's the hair.
He's got that like 80s, like
24
part of-
karat.
You mean like Prince?
Yeah, he's part of the
24
he's part of the
karat.
exercise.
I see more Prince than.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
I do
definitely
see
Prince.
He's got
Man.
gloves.
I
You know
do
what?
see
If
Prince.
this dude can play guitar, it's
I
it's
see the
game over.
symbol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it.
All right, so let's just stay with the same team in
Tennessee.
Tier
yeah,
three.
Tennessee, and let's
Oh.
just go to Tillman.
Let's go.
The most talkative guy on Twitter right now is saying that they are wide receiver U.
No, I didn't know that. That's dumb. It's a very dumb thing
So
to say.
Ryan, give me your take on Tillman.
Well, I have him at 19.
How many receivers?
This is
did you
our
watch?
tier. This is our tier 3. So
have
I'll
20.
organize the tier as we
You
go through
watched
it.
20 receivers. He's your 19th.
Yeah.
I need to know your negatives. I
Tell
got
me
to.
why you have Cedric Tillman
He's
where you
just-
have him.
He's just a big body receiver, right? So he knows how to use his frame. That's natural from a guy who's I mean, put it up.
It's not though. It's
these
not
are-
though, because Johnston does
Yeah,
it.
6'3". I have 6'3", 213.
Johnny,
Okay.
read my player summary real quick to give Ryan a head start.
He reminds me
Hold on,
of
you suck.
Jawan Johnson from Oregon. When I watched Jawan coming
But Jawan
out.
Johnson is
Is
a
a
very
tight end.
good tight end.
Who also just got signed to a 2-year contract.
And what Jawan Johnson was 6'6",
Extension.
right? So he moves like Jawan Johnson, but Jawan Johnson has what, another 2-3 inches on this guy? And
Maybe. I don't know Jawan
I think he
Johnson's
weighs
height.
more.
What a
But
lucky guy.
Is it is it possible that this guy could put on maybe a few pounds and translate? Maybe.
Play tight end, you mean?
I think I don't think that he will do that. I don't think teams will try to do that because he is 6'3", 213. But
Jawan Johnson's 6'4".
okay, so
So a bench.
it's possible that they can convert this guy. I did say, I remember talking to my buddies, and I said that Jawan Johnson is going to make one hell of a tight end in the NFL.
So
and he turned out to be a
6'4",
tight end in the NFL.
231.
So
Jawan Johnson.
He's not a blocker. He's a big slot. I don't want to call him a tight end. I call him big slot.
Hashtag offended.
So
I think that's what Quentin Johnson
All
is.
tight ends should be
I
offended
think he's
now.
a big slot. I think
Yeah,
Quentin
that's the
Johnson's
new
a tight
position.
end turned wide receiver.
Yep. So
The
it's
new tight end position is a slot. It's a big
Yeah,
slot.
pretty
That's
much.
the new tight end
I mean,
position.
Kyle Pitts, same thing.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
Pitts.
100%.
Gosh dang.
Jury's still out on that kid. I like him still.
He hasn't had quarterback play.
He might soon.
I'm not
He's
sold
not going
on,
to after this year either.
He's got to sell me more,
I
right?
don't know.
So
I like Ritter. I don't know. We'll see.
you guys tell me about Tillman. Convince me why Tillman should be higher up on
Oh,
my
Wheeler
board.
doesn't like him
So
either.
go ahead.
I'm-
Read my player summary real
I don't
quick.
like him.
He is considered a possession receiver with the ability to be a playmaker with the ball in his hands. Thrive on the physical aspect of the game.
Absolutely.
So I think everybody said that his best potential, based on a lot of the articles I was reading, was that when the ball's in his hands is when he's most deadly.
Dude's dirty. I
he's
love
big.
this guy.
All right, so give me it to me. then,
If
Steve.
I mean, he would have been high tier 2 for me if these guys would have allowed it. But I get it. I get it, right? Because he's not a yak guy.
He could
No,
be high tier
has-
3 with the potential of being a tier 2.
He
right?
has high. In my opinion, this dude has high potential. He's not a yak guy, so he is a possession guy.
Low floor, high ceiling.
Sure. I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to catch the balls, right?
That's a good way to put it, Johnny.
All the balls.
He's not a burner. He's not going to burn you, right? So that's fine, right? Because if say he puts on 15 pounds and he converts to tight end, he's going to be a big slot, and he's going to excel there.
San
When I-
Antonio Brahma.
What?
He's talking to Jimmy in the chat.
He does have good hands. You know, he can drops
big.
can plague him, right? But I don't know a receiver that hasn't had that happen. And if they haven't had it happen, it's going to happen. His contested catch rate was 42.9% in college. He has fantastic body control. He's got great footwork. He worked over Kelly Ringo in a bad way.
Kelly?
Kelly, yeah,
Kingo.
Kelly, Kelee.
I thought it was Keely Ring. Is it
Yeah.
Kelly?
Thought it was.
I think it's
I
Kelly.
thought we were
I don't know.
pronouncing
Anyway,
Kelly.
whatever. Whatever.
Ringo.
You know
Ringo.
Ringo.
Well, you said Kelly. I thought it was a whole new person.
Right.
I thought it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
When he plants his foot, he can change direction very well. He does have that ability, but he's not a yak guy. He's not going to be that guy. So he is going to be more of a 2. He's not going to be a 1 in your team, but I do think that he is going to be a red zone monster. I really genuinely do, because he has that quick ability. He's not gonna go anywhere.
He's big.
He's gonna have the yak of like T. Higgins, but he's gonna catch that pass.
I get that, yeah. So
So I'm not saying he's T. Higgins.
no.
Hold on.
His play is like T. Higgins.
But
Again,
his yak ability and that quick step, real quick, he can just change direction. He's gonna catch it, and then when, like we said, when the ball's in his hands, he's gonna do something.
Keep in mind, a comp is a ceiling, not who they are.
I think he
Just a
can be
play, yeah.
T. Higgins-esque.
I could see it.
And I love his
get
size.
it.
That's why I like.
Ryan,
I like
is that
his
a good
size.
enough argument for
I
you?
like a big body receiver. Person.
No, that's not a good enough argument to move this guy up for you. Like, because you said you didn't like him at all.
Yeah, you hate him.
Well, not
I don't-
hate.
I don't hate him.
Stop using the word hate. He hasn't been
Dislike.
19 out of
Dislike.
40
None of these-
receivers.
Not high
Who's your
These
20th receiver?
receivers-
Who's your 20th receiver?
Look, these receivers we're talking about them because they have NFL ability, right? So
They're the
why would
1% of the
I
1%
go,
of the 1%,
I hate
right.
this guy.
hate.
I don't hate any of them.
Yeah.
I think there's potential in every single one of these guys. But where I rank them based on of how I would draft them, I have Cedric Tillman down on my list just because.
So where do you have him? Where's your
receivers-
ADP for him?
Big body receivers just aren't quite there anymore.
He won't be in the first round.
No, he's not going to be a first round.
No.
He doesn't have the Calvin Johnson athleticism,
So
right?
you say the NFL
He
likes
doesn't
smaller
have-
receivers.
Well,
no, Calvin Johnson.
So Ryan, I said this before
He
you
doesn't
showed up.
have that kind of athleticism.
Mike
for a big
Evans.
guy.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans has athleticism.
Yeah.
So I said earlier to these guys, usually your bigger receivers go in later rounds.
Yeah, Mike Evans is what, 6'5"?
Yeah, Mike Evans.
6'5", yeah, he's huge.
Big boy.
And he's like 230
Huge.
too. So
But he
like,
can run the route tree.
Yes.
Where Cedric Tillman runs a lot of stops, north routes.
Yeah,
you know,
he's not going to burn you. Like I said,
no,
he's not going to. But
4.6 speed. I mean, come on,
4.5.
4.54.
But
That's what
but
they
he
have
but
been.
he
that
can't.
rounds down.
But he
not up.
can't. He can run downfield and he can catch that contested. So
Ryan.
I'm not rounding it.
So he's 4.55.
Whatever.
I'm rounding.
I'll give
I'm
you that.
rounding up.
He's running to the nearest
So you
five.
said he's
Put-
not a
put
good
about-
contested catcher?
Put
He is a
5
good
pounds,
contested
put
catcher.
5 pounds of pads on this guy. and he's running a
42.9%.
4.6.
I'm gonna go with.
You might be right.
I'm gonna go with Ryan. He reminds me of a tight end in the film.
Well, T.
when I
Higgins is
watched
a
him.
tight end too, though. Like,
I love T. Higgins. I've been high on T.
Yeah,
Higgins.
you've
I mean,
been
he
one of
think
the-
he's the number one in Cincinnati. I might get killed for that.
I complimented Juwan Johnson. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't.
No, I'm
I
not
don't
dis-
disagree.
no, I'm not
Juwan Johnson, the
disagreeing.
Saints love the guy.
No.
They just re-signed him. Or
2 years. Yeah.
I
Exciting,
just
right?
don't
Yep.
see him as a
Let's-
top
There's
10.
potential.
There's a reason he's in tier 3 for us. Steve may like
He
him like the way I like
is-
Jalen Hyatt. He
He's
may
8
be
for
high
me.
on him.
So I don't love. He's 8 for me. Oh, you want a biz?
What was that?
All
Ryan?
right, so let's
hold on.
how about
He
this?
wants a beer bong.
So we got enough on Tillman.
I don't know. You
Stone Cold always.
The one thing
That's all we got.
the one thing I'm happy with Tillman
What is that?
A regular Bush lattes.
guys.
What are you saying, KJ?
The one thing I'm happy with Tillman is the fact that the dude is happy with himself. Okay,
Confidence.
so like I like the confidence in a receiver going to the NFL.
You have to have that.
I
You're
don't
right.
know. I
And
don't
I'm
know.
okay
But
with
not
it.
on
I'm
that
okay
level.
with it.
I don't know.
So here's
Montez
my
Perfect
so,
was very confident too. What'd that get him?
so here's my
Undrafted.
question.
He's a headhunter, so I love it.
So here's my
And
question.
I think he was
It's a dirty
a killer.
dick.
Like
He has 37 catches on the year. Did he play all games, or how many games did he?
So
No,
keep
he
in mind,
had a better
well,
2021
hold on.
season.
Keep
Way
in
better
mind,
2021 season.
And I said this to preface when we talked about wide receivers. A lot of these guys had better 2021 seasons than they did 2022 seasons.
And this is one of those guys.
And this is one of those guys that
I'm-
had a better year before.
I'm just saying it because Jimmy in the comments
He
played
says he
se-
didn't even have 40 catches. How did he have?
Well, so
how is
Jimmy-
he saying that
yeah,
Tennessee is wide receiver?
If I were to preface every single one of these guys, a lot of these guys that are probably going to be drafted in the top like 10 wide receivers, a lot of them had a better year. Like Njigba. Njigba had 5 catches this year.
Yeah.
I can't put up
So-
Njigba's stats because it's garbage.
It's
but
not
if you
great.
look at his previous year, where he put up 1,690 yards or 1,600 yards or whatnot,
So good.
That's where everybody's seeing all of his ability from.
Yeah. So Tillman had probably played in 6 games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this year it was 6 games,
6
and
games
that's
this
why
year.
he's averaging
Okay.
like 4 yards or whatever. Or
11.3
four catches.
average yards per reception,
But I think it's
3
like
touchdowns.
6.2 catches per game or something like that.
Yeah, 6.2
So-
receptions a game, 37
Yeah.
completions.
So let's move on to the next guy, and this one I think you all
Rasheed.
went from great to woo, dropping,
Rasheed
which
Rice.
was Rasheed Rice. Ryan, I think you liked him going into the
I did.
Pro Bowl, right?
He buttons
Or not
up
the not the Pro Bowl, into the Senior Bowl,
Senior
and
Bowl.
then after the Senior Bowl, he started
No.
sliding.
he
off for
buttons
you.
up his top button on a polo.
So tell me, he might have been
boy went to
golfing that day.
Stanford.
So tell me what your thoughts are here, Ryan, on Rasheed.
I don't know. So
Oh man.
smaller school guy.
Hates
You know,
it.
I like this. I like the size. 6'2", 208.
That's the average size of a good wide
6'2".
6'2", 203. Right?
No, no.
He's
He's
6'1".
6'1". I'm
Oh,
sorry.
is he 6'1"?
I have before combine measurements. Combine.
That is combine
You're
measurement.
welcome, Jimmy.
Yeah, he did.
6'1", 204.
Okay, so 6'1", 204, 4.5 speed. It's a little slower than I wanted, right? So I
lot slower.
comped him to Denzel Mims. He tends to, lets the ball come to his body. I like at the NFL level, you need to catch the ball with your hands. And when we had that at the Senior Bowl, he lacked separation. He lacked. See, it says short area quickness. I just didn't see that at the Senior Bowl. He just the lack of his ability to get off the line.
So well,
He's kind of raw.
Well, so his 10 yards.
He's a raw talent.
Go ahead,
He is a
Johnny.
raw
So with
talent.
his 10-yard split being 1.49, he's quick off the ball. So he's pretty much like a red zone tight end.
Yeah,
So
that's what, they used him. They used him a lot in the red zone. That's one of my highs on him. Is
like
he's
how
a
he
huge
picked-
red zone
I
threat.
like how
Hold
he
on.
picked that up.
Are we just gonna keep calling our receivers that we don't like tight ends?
I'm not
we
calling
we
tight
kept
end.
saying tight end comparison last week.
So
or
if you
what?
look at what I said, look
Just
at what I
lazy.
said. Go ahead, Johnny. No, read what I said.
Tight end doesn't exist anymore.
So he
Let's be
says
honest.
he plays like a tight
I
end with
agree.
the abilities of a wide receiver, short area quickness with a 1.49 10-yard split, meaning he's capable of getting off the line quick.
So like I
So-
said, he plays like a tight end.
And his vertical is 41 inches.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a
He's a big body. He knows how to use his
41.
body.
That's
why
right.
big.
he's a
I
screen
comped him
red
to-
zone guy.
I comped him to Denzel Mims.
But that's why I
don't
say
like
he's
that
gonna
comp.
he's a red zone threat because
I don't know.
he's quick off the line. All he's got to do is a quick burst
Hey,
out corner route.
Everyone was high on Denzel Mims
coming out of the
college.
draft. Yes, they were.
You know what's crazy?
Yes, they
So
were.
So
and he's been horrible.
Draft Network comped
Well-
him to Chris Godwin, and when I saw that, because I love Chris Godwin. I'm a Chris. I love Chris Godwin. I saw that comp and I'm like, nah, man, that ain't it.
so that
And
that's
keep in
the
mind
ceiling, right?
Well, keep
Is that
in
a
mind.
ceiling? I hope that's a ceiling.
Well, I think
I
a
don't
lot
see
of
it.
I think the NFL Draft Buzz. I think when they do comps, I think it's based.
no,
on their-
that was Draft Network.
Oh, that was draft. I thought that was Draft Buzz.
No,
oh, that was,
So-
I take the
I'll
comp to
take, I'll
see.
take my statement back because I think NFL Draft Buzz when they comp, it's based on college production, not based on NFL production.
So NFL.com prospects has Godwin at 6'1", 209. Arm is 31 and 5/8 inches. Hand is 9
That's
and
why
1/8
they're
inches.
comping his measurables. They're not
Right.
comping his play style.
40 yard is 4.42. 10 yard splits 1.49. Vertical is 36
Yeah.
inches. Broad jumps 10 feet 6 inches.
Yeah, they're comping his measurables, not his play style.
Bench,
Yeah, that's
bench press
poor.
was
You
19
can't do
reps.
that.
No, when you look at the actual, when they do the draft combine, they just type in his measurables and they see what the production is.
I
coming
hate
out.
that.
That's what we were just talking about
Yeah.
earlier. They
I
go,
hate
they're
that.
just sitting there. They look at the measurables, and that's what they
That's
go
so-
off of with
Yeah.
Quinn
Which
Johnson
is
as
why
well.
So
I
here's
like
the-
what we do
and
better.
Zay.
I like what we do
because
better.
we watched
for
the
the record.
film.
Yeah.
But his
We
grade was
watched
a
film.
6.2, and they said he will eventually be average starter.
No.
All right. So,
What's average,
Steve,
though?
give me
Right.
your Rasheed Rice take. Come on.
So, I don't hate this guy, but I don't love him. I like the name coming out, right? Wheeler and I talk, we joke about it all the time. Players live and die in their name, especially coming out of the draft.
Yeah.
I mean, you have guys changing their name legally so that it kind of flashes on you.
Chosen.
Chosen
Which he was
sauce. I mean, you have guys that
Tank.
Tank. I think that's still a nickname, but his contested catch rate last year is 48.5%. That's good. That's pretty good. When you got to jump like that, and you have decent hands, I did see, the ball does come into his body too much.
Mm-hmm.
If he can trust his hands, he could be a red zone monster with a vertical like that.
You got to use your hands, not your body. I agree.
I agree. He has decent separation in the games I watched. I didn't refer to the Senior Bowl. But one of the big positives is he does play larger than his size. So he plays even bigger than what he is. He'll run right into you. He's not afraid of contact, in my opinion. But his route tree is limited.
Abysmal.
It's
Yeah.
Wheels, you got anything else to
it's
say?
ass.
So from what I saw from him, they use him a lot in the red zone, and I think that is where he gets that body catch, is because you catch it into your body, you only need one foot in. I think that's where I guess you can say he's kind of lazy. He doesn't rely on his hands. He relies on his body to catch it because of the contact happening in the red zone. And I don't know if that's him fearing that he can't catch the ball out of contest, and if he doesn't have strong enough hands to hold on to the ball when he's getting hit from behind or wherever. And I think he's relying on his forearms and his body to do it for him. And that worries me with his confidence as a wide receiver over the rest of the field.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we'll move on to the next one. Rasheed Rice has fallen down on the draft board for, I think, a lot of people, especially just talking to us.
Yeah.
We have him dropping a good amount. Sorry, I was covering my mic. I was like, wait, why did my sound so weird? Let's move on to Wheels' guy. Perry.
Oh,
A.T.
Jesus.
Perry out of Wake Forest.
Yeah, let's move on.
Hey, I'm
to
gonna
A.T.
get dragged
Perry.
for him. I have him
So
in
go
top
for
10.
it. Give me your take.
He's your top 10.
He has him in his top 10. Go for your
Yes, I
take.
do.
Which, to be honest, we're only at like 12 guys right now.
Oh,
So
for real?
The dude
Yeah.
is a physical monster.
Oh, he's 11 for me,
all
so I
over
can't
the
talk
field.
much.
He. Okay, I thought you were talking. His ball tracking.
sorry.
His ball tracking ability is next level. I think he's
Next level.
I think he's top of the class. He constantly. This happens with a lot of guys. He catches in stride. He doesn't create the biggest separation for me. All over the field,
that's how it's spelled.
Whatever.
but he's able to go up and get a contested ball. He's a strong physical player. He's not going to be shifty and outmaneuver a guy. He runs through him.
Okay. All right. So, what is? Give me two things that you think are going to set him up. So like ball tracking. You love his ball tracking
Yes.
downfield.
He doesn't have to turn his hips and put himself out of position for his route to get the ball in.
I agree. I also think, from what I saw, he was constantly underthrown.
But
But because I was gonna say it was a negative, he catches the ball with his body. In my opinion, he didn't have a choice on a lot of those deep
and
routes.
a lot of that comes to quarterback play, which I think again is
atrocious.
why this guy is kind of low. I know
So
Ryan dislikes him to a point.
you know why I don't
Take
like
care,
him.
Jimmy.
Bye, G. You know why I don't like him? I mean, like I do because I do think that
He's
he
older too.
He's 23. He has skill set, right? He is what 6'3"?
Yeah,
6'3" and a half.
6'3.5",
198.
I love that size. You want to know why I love that size? Because he can run pretty decently. 4.47.
4.47.
You can go over the
4.47
middle and take a hit.
But I never really saw him take a hit low. It was all go balls.
Yep.
So his route tree is.
The dude's I don't know. He's just a physical monster.
But
route
if you're gonna
From what I
if you're
saw.
gonna ask me if I want him or Anthony Schwartz on the Browns, I'll take this guy.
Yeah.
With decent hands, he can track the ball well.
He's not afraid of contact.
And he's not. He's not
afraid of contact
At
at all.
6'3", almost 200 pounds. Yeah, okay.
I would take anyone over Anthony Schwartz.
Jesus Christ. You know what I was saying.
I'd play for Anthony Schwartz. At least I
As
don't
long
care
as-
to get
I mean,
hit.
he's
I don't
strong.
care how-
Die,
I
but
don't care how slow they are, as long as they got hands.
Strong-
I'd take him over Schwartz.
Strong hands, strong to contest a catch. He's a viable option deep, but I don't think that he has that stop and comeback that a lot of other guys do.
no, that's why I said he's not one of those guys that's gonna stop a route, make a guy miss, and create.
Yeah.
He's another T. Higgins type, and I know we keep using that.
No,
but he's
not a T. Higgins type.
I don't.
Not at all.
I don't know.
That's not that. You just. I think you just stuck on T. He's not T.
Yeah,
And
he's not T.
I don't even need to see his film to know he's not T. Higgins.
Have you even watched him?
So
What did I just say?
Uh-oh.
A.T. Perry.
Okay, then don't judge a guy if you haven't watched him.
Yeah, he's not T. Higgins
So
at all.
A.T. Perry for me is a project, right?
Yeah,
Because
that's where
he's extremely raw in receive. He uses his size to make plays.
yeah, he's physical.
And in
that's
the
what I was
NFL,
saying.
that's not going to work. So,
Everybody's as big as you.
yes, you got to like I always say it's the funnel effect, right? The better players get to the show.
Well, how's Macho Man say? He says, "The cream."
The cream always rises to the top.
That's right.
So A.T. Perry,
That's right.
for me, is a project receiver. A J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is my comp.
Yeah,
for this.
there's a reason I have him as a 10 is
So-
because he's, like you said, he's a project. That's how we
He
are
has-
rating guys as
he has
project
talent.
starter.
He has talent. He's from Wake, who, abysmal quarterback play.
Yeah, it
But
wasn't great.
He does come back to the ball nice. He runs a nice stop route,
Yes.
but that's because he
Okay,
has
so
that
that
ability
I
to
didn't
take
see
you up
that
top.
in the games I watched. All right, that's fair. That's fair. I missed it.
He does come back to the ball well. He has strong, big hands because he's a big receiver.
He does have strong
Another
hands.
guy, like I said, I wouldn't mind moving into play a big slot. You can move to the outside when you need him
Yes.
to create mismatch. Say you need 10 yards and you're running that little post corner route that you need a touchdown for when you're on the 5-yard line. This is the guy you want to throw to because he has a 35-inch vert at 6'3.5". That's big.
I mean, look at his 40's not terrible too.
I mean,
4.47 for a 6'3.5",
Yeah.
almost
Yeah,
200 pounds
that's
or
not
200
bad.
So
pounds.
let's just say I don't know the Cincinnati Bengals come up to him and go, hey, how do you feel about adding another 20 pounds and playing tight end for us?
Well,
Do you think A.T. Perry is going?
Didn't they just?
I
sign
don't think
Hayden
nobody's
Hurst?
going to say no. I don't think he's going to say no. He wants the
signed who?
opportunity.
Hayden,
Hayden Hurst?
I don't know if they signed Hayden Hurst.
I mean,
Yeah, but I'll take. I mean, I don't know if this kid can go in and, like he said, gain
an
20
example.
pounds and
I mean, you
be a
can.
physical
In my
threat.
opinion, you can draft A.T. Perry in like the 5th round.
no.
I get
And not in your opinion.
I get it.
Not in your
I get
opinion,
it.
but I think 4th, 5th round, A.T. Perry's there.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I have him as 10, so he's probably late 3rd, early 4th for me out of these guys because they're so out of this draft class.
I lied.
How many guys do you think are going to be drafted in the first?
How
Four,
many
three.
wide receivers?
Yeah,
I think
three.
3. Just
3 or 4.
3
okay,
just because of I had the
and what were we saying about wide receivers? And that was
tag
quarterbacks.
comp. Look.
5.
This is why right here.
Yeah.
It's the
19,
what,
I mean,
second,
$20 million.
third highest, 4th highest.
So you want your value. He's a value pick, is what you're saying.
They're the 3rd highest position paid.
Yeah. So he's a value pick.
Yeah.
So A.T. Perry and T actually isn't too far off from what I can get again from NFL.com's prospects. Perry is here. I'll pull it back up.
They're all you want. He's not too.
I'm not
Don't-
saying that
I'm
he is,
just
but I'm
saying
just
you
saying
can't- you can't diss a
looking
guy
body
without-
wise, T's 6'4", 216 with a 34 1/8 arm inch and 9 1/4 inch hand. Now T didn't run or anything at the combine, so
He runs like a 4.6.
I don't know. So 4.6, 4.7.
Oh,
you know,
man.
4.6.
No, he runs like a
4.60.
4.6.
So
He is
Perry
not
is
fast.
So Perry is slow or faster. And Perry, his 1.59 10-yard split, and
But
then his vertical and his
We're
broad.
arguing about a guy, right? That probably is going to get drafted in the 4th or 5th round.
As you see, yeah, like I said, he's late 3rd, early 4th.
I think he's a good. I think.
But
I
there's
think
value all over the draft for this position, 100%.
So here's my thing, right? And we had this. Tight end is deep, right? We think
Yeah.
tight end
That's
is
what
deep
she
in this
said.
draft. But here's the other
Yeah, I agree.
fun argument, right? Is a lot of these wide receivers
Are
play
tight
like
ends.
tight ends,
That's
but
why-
are too
I
small
hear what
to
you said.
be tight ends.
That's
So
why I
that's
said
what
that
she said.
in the next 5 years, the tight end position is going to be a big slot, like we've been saying.
Yep, it's changing the game a little
Yeah.
bit. So
I don't. There's not much blocking tight ends.
So I'm
anymore.
gonna move
you
on
you
from-
have a tight end for blocking for the run,
I'll-
but your vertical guy, your offensive threat tight end, he's not a good blocker. There's not many anymore.
I want to move on from
That are
A.T.
under the age of
Perry.
25.
I don't have any negatives personally against Perry. I think I told you the film. I
He's
didn't
just not
watch any
T.
film on A.T. Perry. I just based on his measurables, based on his quality, and based on what I've read on him, he's not T. Higgins in my mind.
No,
okay?
I'm not. I'm just saying
So,
play wise is all I
but
was saying.
Let's move on from A.T. Perry. Let's go to Marvin Mims.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, Steve, talk to me about Mims.
I don't like Mims. I didn't
Well,
care.
talk
for
to me
him.
about it.
He is
Even if
fast.
you got negatives.
I will say the dude's fast. Dude can fly. He ran a 4.38 at combine. That's stupid. He's got a good vert. I mean, what I do like are his contested catch rate. You know, 54.5%. That's good. That's really, really, really good. He's got good hands. He's what I called a deep ball guru.
Sorry to interrupt. The Vikings are open for business as they have already released 3 veteran players, and multiple teams believe Minnesota has had trade talks about
Dalvin Cook.
The
Yeah.
team is attempting to re-sign Cook's backup, Alexander Madison, who is a
They've been
pending
talking
offer.
about moving on from Dalvin Cook because of age, and was injury prone prior to the last
It was
2-3 years.
running back
But
for
it
a
was
dime
only
a dozen.
it was only more rumored where
I think it was legit. I think it was legit.
Yeah, I
And
think-
with this class, this running back class, there's value.
Yeah.
Like we
And-
said.
And you have
everywhere
Madison.
on-
If worst case scenario, you can
Right.
go without.
You have
Madison.
Kareem Hunt and free agency.
Yeah, I mean that's not even including free agency.
And
Yeah.
also, the Bears would like to re-sign David Montgomery, though as of now, it appears he will hit free agency.
Dude,
I just wanted to say those two things.
Side note: what about the Bears taking Bijan at 9?
No,
No.
that's
No, they're not
stupid.
going to take Bijan.
They need too much.
When was the last
Ryan-
time a wide receiver or
He's a
running back was
weapon.
taken top 10?
He's a weapon. He can block.
Saquon.
There's a rumor
Exactly.
going
There's a
around the
reason
league
why.
right now too that the Colts are open to trade Ryan Kelly, the center.
Yes.
Really?
But they don't even have an offensive line outside of that.
That's
So.
they're trying to.
Quentin Nelson?
Quentin
How
Nelson's a
Dare
dog.
you?
That's one guy. They
He's
were
what,
ranked.
left tackle
They were
or left
ranked the
guard?
worst offensive line last year.
And he's a guard.
You said there was nobody else other than Ryan Kelly.
Wait,
and
what?
I just named.
No.
best
They were ranked the
breath guard
worst
in the league.
offensive
Hold
line
on.
last year.
Was that victory screech? Hold on. Was that a victory?
All right, let's
That's that air of a giant.
Let's get back into that,
Let's come
Steven.
back into the rookies. Marvin Mims. Steve, finish what you were saying about him.
He's
You
got
talked
a,
about his contested catches.
he's got
and
a
all
lot
that
to
stuff.
like, and then he does. Is he small?
Limited route tree guy,
Kinda.
right?
He is a limited route tree guy. Yeah, I mean,
He's go long, catch the ball.
the quarterback play, I did not like it. I thought the quarterback play really held him back personally. And he lacks the size and strength to get through press coverage, to like aggressive press coverage, and that was in college.
So he struggles on press.
In my opinion.
Acrobatic catcher, right?
He's
Downfield,
talented. He's fast. He
acrobatic.
can fly, but
I mean,
he's a deep ball guy. I saw
look
a lot
at his
of deep ball
average
stuff.
yards per reception is 20. That just shows, like
He's
you said,
deep
he's
ball
a deep
guy.
ball. He's go
Yes.
deep, catch ball.
Dude reminds me of like
And 4.38. I mean, okay.
Wouldn't
Anthony
this be your
Schwartz.
Deshaun Jackson comp?
no.
This would be my Sky Moore comp.
Oh shit!
Well, we don't
Okay.
know what Sky Moore's capable of in the NFL. So, like, if I had to compare him to an NFL guy, who would I comp him to?
So because of size, I comped him to a Jalen Rager. Right.
Jalen Reagor,
okay,
yeah.
I can see that.
His ability to catch the ball, his catch radius, like
Is
you said,
better.
high point of ball,
It's
right?
better.
He reminds me a lot of what Doug Baldwin and Golden Tate used to be able to do.
Golden
when
Tate.
they
Golden
go
Tate.
down the field.
But
So
Golden
I
Tate
don't
was
hate
what,
that.
6'1",
That's a
6'2"?
good comp.
I wrote Jalen Rager just because of his size and his measurables, right? Because if you look at the measurables, you're like, wow, that looks exactly like Jalen Rager. 4.38 speed, 5'11", 180 pounds.
But Tate
Everyone's
was
like,
quick.
oh, Jalen Rager, oh, he's going to be so good. Well, he lacks that. What's Jalen Rager's lack of ability?
He can't catch the
Everything
ball.
catches the ball through the chest.
You know what the
Rager's,
best hands.
Rager's 23 pounds more.
This guy can catch with the hands.
Yes, you can.
You know what the best thing about Jalen Reagor is, too?
No.
The Eagles took him, and JJ was still on the board, and the Vikings took him.
Yep.
Damn.
How did this thing that just the Eagles missed on
Dirty.
JJ RC or Whiteside, Jalen Rager. I think Jalen Rager is a Viking too.
No, Ryan, I like that Golden Tate, though.
shit, he might be.
Because 5'10", 197.
Yeah, he just reminds me of the
Yeah.
way I remember watching Golden Tate, the way he can get up and jump and go make plays on a ball. You know,
But
back
he was-
shoulder,
he's
whatever
physical.
it is.
Golden
Very
Tate's
physical,
issue
yeah.
was he was so, like, he was all great or all bad. He was 50-50.
Yeah.
What day did you get Golden Tate? So
He was inconsistent.
yeah. So that's how you guys feel about Mims. I mean,
Yep.
pure athlete, and I mean he's a really good athlete in my mind. Let's move on to, because these are all tier 3 guys. These are guys we're seeing going possibly late 3rd at the highest and probably 4th, 5th. Talk about Mingo for me, Steve. There's another guy you probably aren't high on, or
I was low on him, but I do like his size. I love his size.
Who's
That's-
your comp? I want to know the comp.
I don't have a comp. 'Cause
Steve
I
doesn't
didn't
pick
comp.
comps.
I don't comp anybody. I watch what I watch, and then I give
Okay.
you what I say. But NFL Draft Buzz had a comp,
Oh God.
and it was to Deebo Samuel.
who was the guy
Yes.
that the Browns traded?
Just because
was it
the
Watson?
big frame.
Ben Watson.
It's the big frame.
Ben
Wait,
Watson.
what?
It is the big frame.
Again, tight end.
So running a
These are all
4.46,
tight ends in
that's
my mind.
good. That's
Look.
pretty good at that size. I mean, I like that. I like that speed. His contested catch rate was good. His ball tracking's good. He's a tight end. He's another tight end. His ball tracking's good. He can
That
be
hurts
utilized
my
all over
soul
the
here.
field. However,
I
the s-
loved Debo Samuel's coming out of college.
the screen
and
game.
I'm not high on this dude.
No, I'm not high on him either. His screen game is seemingly what he's used for. So I don't know if they didn't use him well or if that's all he's good at. They did show. I mean, Ole Miss showed trust in him and in his yak.
He's a deep.
That's what I saw.
He can kind of do it all. That's what Ole Miss did. is
They put him all over the field now.
because he is big body, big frame.
Yeah.
But you know that he's not afraid to take a hit because he
He's
can take
strong
He
too.
can- he can, yeah.
He does not get taken down easily.
Now, I will say that it was hard to watch this tape.
a hit. He didn't make a lot. Like in the screen game, he didn't make a lot of people miss tackles. Right? It looked like he kind of almost ran into tackles
Yeah.
to try to just run them over.
Yeah.
Instead of making an arm tackle miss, he let the arm tackle kind of slow him down a little
Yeah.
bit by running more into the guy
Yeah.
instead of evading the tackle.
Yeah, it seemed
Right.
like it was either deep balls or screens. There wasn't a lot of middle. Watching his tape was very difficult because Jackson Dart is fucking dog shit. The dude's trash.
I know.
Dude is hard to watch.
I mean, Elijah Moore got drafted high.
You
Do
might
think
like my
this
comp
guy-
then, Steve.
Go ahead.
I want to hear that comp.
Allen Robinson.
Oh shit, buddy.
For Jonathan Mingo?
Yeah. I could see potential.
He's got
in
good
this
pop
guy.
ability,
Yeah, I could see the potential. And don't get it
All
twisted.
right,
Allen Robinson had some pretty good years with Jacksonville.
I mean,
up until the
yes, he
injuries
did. Yes, he
started
did.
hitting
Yes, he
him.
did.
Right, Blake Bortles and him had a little thing going for a little bit.
I mean, yeah, lacking QB play. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
So here's Robinson's comparison: 6'2", 220, 32-inch arms, compared to 32 and an eighth. Hands are 9.5 inches for Robinson compared to 10 and 3/8 for Mingo. 4.6 40 with a 1.6 10-yard split for Robinson, with a 4.46
Robinson was not fast.
and 1.54 for Mingo. 39-inch vertical to 39.5. Broad jump was 10.7 for Robinson compared to 10.
If Jonathan Mingo can play and live in the league like Allen Robinson did, I think he'll be pretty damn happy with that.
I think so too.
He has a high motor, too, like Allen Robinson had coming out.
He's not afraid to play football.
No,
No, he's not. I agree with that.
he's there for it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Would
If
you
take
would you
Bubbles-
want
if you take
Baltimore to?
Bubbles- Yeah, I would take Jonathan.
I'm saying
Really?
Allen Robinson because he's also they're trying to the Rams are trying to
No,
shop
I'm not
him.
trading for Allen Robinson.
No, no.
All right.
All right,
Wheels, do you have
but you
anything
would
on-
take Mingo.
Wheels, do you have anything on Mingo? Like, you go age
round.
over. Yeah.
I mean, like I said,
I have
he's
Mingo at 13.
He's got a high motor, does not get taken down easily. Another guy who has good ball tracking. He has a good stop-start ability across the field from what I've seen. I watched the Vandy game, Vanderbilt
So you
versus
guys
Ole
are
Miss.
higher on Mingo than I realized.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, even though he's 13th for me, there's a lot of guys in this draft class I like.
So the two big comparisons with Robinson and Debo, they both went. Robinson was second round, 29th pick in the second, and Debo was the 4th pick in the second. Do you see him being a second round pick, or do you see him being later?
I think he's more raw, personally.
Yeah.
He's a later pick.
He's unpolished.
I'm just saying, just because
I would say
of the
like
comps.
late 4th, early 5th,
Yeah, that's where I got him.
personally.
So let's move on to the
Is
next
that
guy.
teriyaki?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
teriyaki.
Let's move on to the next guy.
Cooking up the Chinese.
Lunch is
Wait a minute.
served.
Tyler
I've heard of him in a
Scott.
while.
Tyler Scott, guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of buzz. I know we're not a Brown show. We're based out of Cleveland, but there's a lot of buzz around.
Was
He
anybody else-
wants to play here in
Were you,
Cleveland.
were you
that what he
disappointed
said?
in that 40 time?
Yes.
Yeah.
For his size.
I
Coming
wanted
from-
that 4.35. So
I
He
mean-
needs to be in the 4.3s for that size.
So pre-combine it was 4.29 was his given 40.
Yeah.
And then after combine it was 4.44.
But I felt like
Man.
and I tweeted something about this on Twitter. I think it was the Billy M. I'm like, was it me or because I was sitting there at my at the hotel in Kentucky with a stopwatch and my phone watching the combine. I would stopwatch these guys.
So
And
they
it felt like a lot of these guys were running way faster.
they actually said there was something wrong with the clock.
Yeah, they
See,
did.
I feel like
Continued
this is
after the line.
every single year.
But
Why
I
can't they get it correct?
I think you guys are seeing something on camera that's recording differently. I just don't think it's boom boom.
So,
on
maybe.
the actual
there's also
video.
a lot of these wide receivers coming out is they're not super fast off the line, but they gain speed the farther they run. Their stride, just a lot of these taller guys, their stride alone makes them look faster because of how long their legs
Yeah.
are. Quentin Johnston,
Look, he's a 4.4
Jalen
guy,
Hyatt,
right?
yeah.
I think he's
Maybe
faster
this
than
guy
that,
is
but-
supposed to be what everybody thought. Whatchamacallit was supposed to be.
Anthony Schwartz.
Anthony Schwartz supposed to be. He wants to be a Brown,
man.
but I have him as a 5th.
He's from Norton, Ohio, which is right outside of.
He wants to. He's
Hey,
been a.
Wait,
This
he
kid-
wants
this
to come to
kid's-
Cleveland.
Yeah, he
He's
was
a
a running.
playmaker.
Yeah, he's a running back turned wide receiver.
He's a playmaker, and I think a lot of teams might reach up in the draft, like second round.
Yeah, I think
That's
he's.
a small running back.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a running back
That's,
turned wide
that's an
receiver.
average running back, just lightweight.
He's
That's what I'm
another.
saying, that-
I think he can be another special teams guy, punt returner, kick returner.
But that's why I asked the question earlier with Josh Downs
Yeah.
because of the
value.
the value for where you're probably going to get a guy.
because you
like
can
that.
play in multiple positions. I think this is
who would
another
you
guy.
take in Cleveland?
Tyler Scott all day.
So why do you have Josh Downs higher?
Oh, wait.
Because
Oh,
because
I'm
of the
sorry. I
fit.
thought you said Anthony
of the
Schwartz. I'm
fit,
sorry.
yeah.
No, I take Josh
No,
Downs.
Do you
Sorry,
take Josh Downs or Tyler Scott? Like
Josh Downs,
For who?
the
for
Browns.
Cleveland.
Tyler
Yeah.
Scott.
Oh, here. Hold on. So,
I'm sorry. I thought you said
so
Anthony
his
Schwartz.
draft network comp okay, because I like comparing these because they're funny, was Tyler Lockett. And I
Same.
thought is it really?
I have the same thing. Literally, look.
See, now, they had the same for Zay Flowers.
He reminded me of Tyler
But
Lockett.
Tyler Scott's he's graded higher than Flowers by Draft Network
So why do we not have Tyler
And higher
Scott
than
higher
Tyler
on this
Lockett.
board?
He's 15th for me.
because he struggles breaking
He's
tackles.
15th as well.
He can't catch in traffic, and he's a non-factor.
He
in
plays
blocking.
to his size.
Yeah,
is what
because
hurts
he's-
him.
he's
Unlike Zay
one-dimensional.
Flowers. Zay Flowers
I'd say,
plays bigger
I just need to know
than
you
what he
guys.
looks like.
So you guys have Josh Downs
He is-
so much higher
he
than
is-
him, but you guys have his this
Because-
guy's
I
ceiling.
like Josh Downs'
You
hands
guys
better.
have this guy's ceiling higher than Josh Downs.
Because,
Oh,
listen,
that's not what I said.
Josh Downs offers more on the field than a Tyler Scott does.
Yeah, I agree.
You could keep Josh Downs on there to help you move the chains, move the football, right?
Yeah,
Tyler
Tyler's-
Scott's more of the guy that, dude, it's 3rd and 37, or we need a long
Get some
touchdown
yards.
here, or it's 1st down and 1st and 5. We just got him to jump offsides. Let's take a shot here. Tyler Scott, you're in.
You create schemes for him.
Yes,
Right.
he's
a
that
scheme guy.
He's the guy that's going to stretch the field to help your
So-
Josh Downs get open.
So
right?
he is not as
he's not a
you
gadget
can't
player.
utilize him as much as you can Downs.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
That's my
So you don't
opinion.
see as much value in that situation.
And I think that we agree.
Yes,
Right?
I agree
He's
with
more
that.
of a
Yes.
one-dimensional player.
all right.
yeah,
So
in my opinion.
that's not
That's
your
why
opinion?
he's so low
Okay.
for me.
So let's jump into one other guy, and like I said, this guy, I love his picture, Andrea Iosivas. How do you guys feel about this gentleman out of Princeton?
Princeton, baby.
Ivy League.
Someone to give me something here because I don't know what to take on this guy. Give me it, Wheels. See what you got.
So what I have written down for him is he's good off the line speed mixed with good route running ability and good finesse across the middle. From what I've seen with him, I watched. I guess Princeton versus Cornell. I mean, take that with
Yeah.
what you may. I mean, it's
Cornell and Harvard.
It's an
Yeah.
Ivy League freaking
Yeah,
football.
All right,
I mean,
Steve, give me your takeaways from him.
I liked his hands. He's got good route running. He catches a nice.
I'm mad. I don't know this guy.
Oh, really?
you know,
he has a nice mix of
That's saying
shorter
a lot.
routes, screens, and deep routes.
He's
me-
doing research
give me-
right
he
now.
looks like a pop singer. Look at
love
his.
it. I
Look,
wanna
he
know.
looks
I
like
wanna
he
see
looks
it.
like Michael Jackson, like
This is
86,
funny.
with that
Is
little
that
hair in his
A?
face.
He looks like a pop singer.
Is
Yeah.
it Iosivas?
It's
Iosivas.
Iosivas.
Yes, yeah, that's.
It
He-
sounds like Push Me Kurvats.
Apparently he's
Pushing my good.
apparently he's Hawaiian.
He
Hawaiian.
is.
Yes.
Wow.
He's from Honolulu.
Pushing my good.
I think.
Let's see. Ooh,
He
so he's older. Well, how old is he? 23?
23.
Probably
Yep.
24
he's
by the
23.
draft, right?
Yes.
Or
He-
season start.
He was a go-to guy for that offense. They really liked him.
We don't watch highlights in this house.
He also started. He also started later. Like he
Okay,
didn't.
Brandon.
He didn't come into the league until I think he was 21. I think he started later.
Why
That
did
I didn't
Brandon say
know.
that?
Yeah.
He needs to use his
I
hands
respect
more
him for
often.
that.
He catches with his body too much, but when he does catch with his hands, he's exceptional at it. He's very good. He does have good hands when he uses them. Good route running, good body control.
Now is this like a Tyson
much on this
Bagent
guy.
argument because he played in the FCS?
Now
Like-
I did point out that it might be poor ball placement from quarterback as a
Princeton,
wide,
pretty
wide
sure.
body. Well, yeah, you don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I don't go to Princeton. I ain't smart. Okay, but I don't hate him. I like his size. I would really
He's
like
he,
to.
what,
if-
6'3", 220 or something like that. He's up
6'3",
6'3".
200.
205, 4'3" unofficial.
You guys
That's
love
pretty
big
good.
frame receivers.
I
don't
do.
you?
I like big
I
guys.
do.
I like guys
I
who
got
go
a
up and
weak
get
spot
it.
for
That's what
him.
she said.
Oh,
I need a big boy.
All right,
I need
so,
a big boy.
well, I guess Ryan will be fun to talk about on the big board day for Iosivas because he'll have some research to do. Give me one other guy
Because of this?
we can talk about is Dontavian Wicks.
No, I don't have anything on.
I don't have him.
Nobody does.
Do you guys have anything on Elijah Higgins?
No.
Not much. I just comped
No.
him to Darren Waller.
Oh man.
Injury prone.
A lot of tight ends.
So I think that's kind of all we got.
Yeah.
I mean that's our tier 3. Everybody else for us is late tier 3,
like
tier
this is a
4,
highlight.
and we'll probably. I mean, there's like 40 receivers
deep
that could
balls
be
so
taken
far.
in this draft
Wow,
for all we
nice.
know.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
came back with the
receiver
ball.
is such a
That was
deep
nice.
position.
But he caught it like this.
So let me
like
rank
this.
these tier 3 guys really quick. I think based on what I was
route.
seeing from everybody, you guys would probably have Tyler Scott towards the top of your tier 3.
Yeah.
And then I think Cedric Tillman would be next, and then I think
Hold on.
Jonathan
Did you see
Mingo.
that?
That'd be
Look at
Tillman
this.
and
Look
then
at this.
for me
Look at
anyway.
this quarterback movement on this play.
I think Mingo
This is
would
fun,
probably be
right? Here's a
third,
breakdown.
tier
Watch what the
3.
quarterback
agree.
does.
So Scott,
This is easy.
Tillman,
Yeah.
Mingo.
Scott
Who
Tillman,
did that
Mingo,
look like?
and
Hold
then
on.
I think
Who did that fucking
I
look
think
like?
Rasheed Rice
Who
was
did that
falling down the
look like?
boards. I think he'd be at 4.
If you get the, if you,
Oh, man.
we are linked
And
together.
then I think A.T.
If you tell me
Perry,
who
because
that
you guys
looked
didn't
like.
have
Ryan.
like negatives too much
I'm
for
sorry.
A.T. Perry.
You're right.
You guys had a lot of positives for A.T. Perry. You just said he was
He's all right.
raw.
He is raw.
So I think A.T. Perry would be 5 for us.
Should step up the shoulder, the pad
I
level.
think after that, it would have to go
Yep.
Mims.
Kept his.
Yeah, I mean,
down.
yeah.
Mims, then
Made the throw.
Iosivas, I think, right?
Right, because Iosivas is so. It's
We don't know,
unsure.
and we all don't know who he's played.
He's
either.
falling in love with the
So-
Iosivas over
so
here.
Really?
Iosivas.
liking
And then
him. I'm
I
just
think
down.
that would be it for our tier 3. I think Dontavian Wicks will move to the next tier. So I think that'll be it for tier
Definitely
3.
not highlights.
And I think that's kind of it for today, unless you guys want to spend a little more time and do a quick mock for the round 1. But that is
give
up
up?
to you guys. I don't know what your
That's
time is
gotta
today.
be quick.
I don't know what your time is today. So we can. Do you guys
to you
want to do a
guys.
quick mock or no?
I got 30 minutes tops.
Wait, we're not going to talk about Trey Palmer and Dontavian Wicks?
If you, I want
I
to hear.
just asked about Dontavian Wicks and
No,
nobody.
it's okay.
Okay. I
So
was gonna
Wicks,
say.
I'll just give a couple comps, right? So
You can
Wicks,
pull up-
Michael
pull up
Wilson.
Trey
We didn't
Palmer.
even talk Michael
Pull
Wilson.
up Trey Palmer for him really quick,
So Michael Wilson, I comped to Amari Cooper.
or Michael Wilson.
Amari Cooper.
Wicks, I have Terry McLaurin. Trey Palmer looked like Christian Kirk.
Scary Terry.
Try to keep up with him.
Ronnie Bell looked a lot like Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh my God.
I don't have Ronnie Bell.
Nope.
And
I watched
Elijah,
half a game of Ronnie
We
Bell.
already talked about.
And I yacked.
You yacked?
Dude's dog shit.
Oh, easy, man. You know, it's okay for an Ohio State guy to recognize talent.
Do you know how many Michigan players I had to watch? I watched a lot.
Well,
and
Ronnie,
it
it's funny
sucks.
because Ronnie Bell, I was going to do a graphic for, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
I didn't care for him
So
personally.
Ronnie Bell, I mean, there's it. Like I said, a lot of these guys are raw talents, but do they have potential? Yes.
Who's the kid out of Purdue? Because I have a graphic for him, but I can't remember his name. But he reminds me of Cole Beasley, like
The white guy?
like look,
The white guy.
like look. Or but I think
Chris,
it's,
Those don't exist.
no, I think
no,
I know
it's
who-
Charlie
Charlie Jones?
Charlie Jones.
That
Charlie
dude,
Jones.
that dude is running a yes.
Charlie
He's-
Jones.
He's like
4-4-3.
second to last in NFL draft buzz on the receivers.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
No, you only went through 2 pages. They have 6 pages of receivers.
6.
yeah.
Oh, whatever.
He's on the 3rd page.
5'11", 175. A little Danny Amendola clone.
That's literally what I thought was like. Is this an
Actually,
Amendola or it's an Edelman? Like that's what I
You know what?
look at
Yeah,
when I see him.
Watching him play, yeah,
He's just
okay.
old.
No,
He'll be
well,
25, I think, before the start of the season.
And I mean, but he runs away from dudes. It's
So he has-
goofy, man.
So he has wisdom.
So he has. He's
Most wide receivers don't start producing till they're 25 in the NFL.
well,
That's not true.
It's very true. They get their big contract
Jesus,
around
boys.
26, 27, and then they fall off at 30.
or you fall
I
off
don't,
now
I
like
don't
Michael
hate this, I
Thomas.
don't hate this guy.
So,
He
all right.
He flashed in a lot of things for me.
Well, we'll have more
just didn't
conversations because that's going to be more big board talk because those guys are a little further down the list for all of us. So, Johnny, give me your takeaways for today. We'll do a mock another day. Johnny, give me your takeaways for today because it's been a long show.
Hope everyone had a good weekend and can enjoy the rest of their Sunday. And, have a blessed day.
All right. How about you, Wheels?
Bless up.
Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, we didn't know you too much with talking over each other. We are trying to get better.
Yeah, better about that.
So we appreciate your guys' intake. Get in chat. Don't be afraid.
All right. Steve?
Hey, thanks for being here. We love you. We love every single one of you. Even though if you don't know it, we do.
Maybe.
Thank you guys. Like, subscribe, become one of us. Talk to us in chat. We love that stuff. Love it.
Become one of the deep threats.
Become a deep threat.
I like
But
that.
thank you guys for being here. We love you. God bless you. Have a good week.
Hey, Ryan, any takeaways for your first time on a show in a month?
No, so
It's been a
so
month.
funny thing is, my wife told me I need to get more in touch with my feminine side.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I went out and crashed a car.
Did you really?
You went out and crashed a car? Is that what you just said?
Was that your dad?
Yeah,
Hold
get
on.
it? Because
They
women are bad
can't
drivers?
drive.
Yeah, no. Did you really crash a car?
No, man.
You know what he did?
That's
You're
especially
a
for
bad driver, too,
that's
You know
for
what he
Women's
did?
Appreciation Month.
He scuffed a rim on a fucking curb.
The irony is Ryan is a bad driver, too,
I'm
though.
not very good. I'm not.
Are you serious?
I mean,
Half of your
do
job
it.
is driving.
I do it.
Yeah.
I do good enough.
I
Do
do
it.
Honestly,
I
you would,
do
when you see
just
Ryan on the road,
enough.
you would assume he was Asian.
Oh.
Good luck, everybody else.
It's not that bad.
Hello. Hello.
Good luck, everybody else.
Go
Is that your takeaway for today?
Teriyaki?
Feminine side.
Sharon, get you some Sharon.
Well,
How may I help you?
We will head out today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We might be doing a couple of random shows this week just to kind of get back up to pace because I know we had some defensive things that we got to start getting into before the draft. And the draft's in, I think, like 22 days or something like
No,
that.
it's more,
Oh, yeah, no, it's, yeah.
A month.
April 27th through the 29th.
You're right.
Yeah,
It's
sometime.
late April, so we do have a little bit of time to get in
45
that.
days.
So for all you guys out there, also ask questions if you guys are watching the show at all. Please ask questions about fantasy. We don't really talk about fantasy until someone asks about it. So if you want to know like who we're targeting in Dynasty and you have questions about that, or if you guys like Ryan has our first overall Dynasty pick and he's already come out and said multiple times, Bijan, like that's his guy. Now he could be lying. He could be lying. But like that's
Am I
Ryan's
lying?
guy. He said he was targeting
Are you
somebody.
pulling
he wasn't
a
targeting last year,
San Francisco
I've heard him
49ers?
verbalize.
I love Mac Jones, but I'm taking Trey Lance.
Right.
So please ask us.
What
And
a
like,
fucking mistake that was, wasn't it?
and like
With 3
Steve
picks.
said, like, subscribe, and most of all, if you can, share. Share, get us out there because we're trying to get better, and the only way for us to get better is to get more input from other people, and we're trying to learn. So have a wonderful Saturday, and we will see you guys.
Sunday.
Or yeah, no, that's right.
Sunday,
Have a
Sunday,
wonderful
Sunday.
end of your weekend, and we will see you guys on the next show. We don't know if we're going to be live Monday or Wednesday. We're still talking about it. All right, guys, take it easy. Bye.
We off.